Always beautiful scenes down here in Launceston, the crowd building at the Hawks home away from home. The first of 4 games here again this season for the Hawks. The Giants, Fremantle, North Melbourne still to come, but their assignment today is the Saints, and hopefully a big crowd in the house for it as we head back downstairs to Cam Mooney.
Thank you, Pipe. Look, it's a beautiful morning here down in Launceston. The clouds have just started to come in over the top now, but not too much wind, so it is a beautiful day for football, which makes it a really nice day for a key forward. And this man here, Maxi King, who I think needs to have obviously a big game for St. Kilda. He hasn't had the greatest of years so far. We just have a look at his averages there this year, obviously down. We want to see this man clunk a few today, kick a big bag. That would be absolutely fantastic for him and St. Kilda. And I guess the question is, guys, with Sicily out, who is going to be the general down in the back half for Hawthorn? Is it Sam Frost to go to him, or is it Josh Weddle, who's had an outstanding season as well and had taken some big scalps this year already? He's taken the brother Ben, and last week we saw him on Ugelhagen have an absolutely fantastic game. It'll be interesting to see, boys, which one of those 2 boys line up on Max King today.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, Cam. I'd just love to see some greater energy out of Max King today, Gaz. When you're watching it, I just feel as if the effort or the exertion's not over 100%, or certainly not to where its max is. Josh Weddle, does he go to him? Not so sure. I feel like they want Weddle a bit higher up, half back. Probably a Sam Frost, I think, he'll start with Max King.
It's interesting, isn't it? I tend to agree, although I don't know whether I'd use the word general with Sam Frost. I think we just we narrow his focus to say beat Max King and you'll be doing a good job for us. Yes. And then Weddle can assume some sort of a leadership role back there, Scrimshaw as well. It's, look, everywhere you look at, it's a really young Hawthorn side and it's a developing side, and the responsibility for someone like a Weddle, there'd be a good thing, but all over the ground there's responsibilities that come, and I guess I'm turning my attention back the other way now and I look at St Kilda. I mean, the significance and the expectations for this side is that they'd beat Hawthorn today. I mean, coming in, I know they're coming off Hawthorn are coming off a really good win, but this is a side that played finals footy last year.
He's got his running team back, I think.
Yes.
Ross Lyon's always been known as a coach that loves his runners. Henry back in today, which we've spoken about. Brad Hill's been fantastic playing as half forward coming up there. We know he put Sinclair into a lot of centre bounce last week. He was influential. And Wanganeen-Milera, who comes off half-back, Gaz, and likes to sit right up off the back of the stoppage. So that'll be interesting to watch from Sam Mitchell. Does he deploy a McGuinness as a defensive type forward just to limit Wanganeen-Milera's run off half-back there? So I feel like Ross has got his team together. He'll be happy with the way they can cover the ground today.
Yeah, so we've spoken ever so briefly about this forward half. Watson and Ginnivan are going to become really important. They have to become important. Now, Hardwick, who has had some really good moments playing forward, he made his name as a backman. I think he's going to have to go forward and give them some backbone in there. So I don't reckon long and high is the way in for them today, so we'll be watching that with great interest.
2 captains, Jack Steele, and captaining the team today in the absence of James Sicily is Dylan Moore for the Hawks. Toss of the coin as
that's a hawk.
2 captains in the middle.
Go that way. Just going to get a quick photo, guys.
Dylan Moore decides to kick the left of screen end. It is umpire appreciation round. Respect your local umpires. We're celebrating umpiring, not at simply the highest level today, but right throughout the community. A lot of umpires, a lot of younger people give their time voluntarily. We need to show them the respect they deserve, and it's a great initiative by the AFL as part of our community umpiring week. So we're not far away from the bounce of the ball here. This is pretty important for these 2 teams. Hawthorn's got aspirations to rise up the ladder. Sam Mitchell's been a bit disappointed with his start. He's been a bit edgy, 5 losses to start it, but they've got something cooking, I think, the Hawks at the moment.
I think they believe, which is the most important thing, and they believe in the coach, and the coach has been pretty strong in his, and forthright. I was interested to hear Ross Lyon speak with Cam Mooney earlier, and he said we're just got to take the uncontested marks away from them. So that'll be a number that we'll keep an eye on, because it gives Hawthorn confidence. I think that they can maintain possession of the footy. Young boys in there love to get a touch early in the game. So that'll be one part of it we'll watch really closely, I think.
A couple of milestones. Messiah Wanganeen-Milera plays game 50. Connor McDonald for the Hawks plays game 50. And Jack Steele plays game 150 as a Saint. Starting his career at the Giants, where he played 17 games as well. And Cal Shadir in game 2 has got a big job to do as well today.
Really liked his first game, his debut. He was honest in the air, Brownie, which is a hard thing to do for a young kid, but he jumps at it really legitimately.
With the springy legs like the old man.
Yeah, it's great.
The father-son, pick 56 in last year's draft, son of Paul, the 1991 Norma Smith medalist. And we're underway in Launceston. Great to have your company wherever you're watching on Fox Footy. Immediately tackled and going nowhere. It's Connor Nash. Secondary ball up. Newcomb broke free, got an arm free. D'Ambrosio touch, so play on. Wanganeen-Milera put it to ground. Stocker, hands and knees to Hill. Fed it back. It's hacked away toward the wing. See if the tall timber can get a piece of it. Marshall was there. Owens got the kick away under immense pressure. Got a roll of it. Hawks got the numbers behind the ball. McKenzie. McDonald. Kick half smothered. Rolls its way to the boundary in front of Moore.
Looking forward to the battle between Lloyd Meek and Rowan Marshall. Rowan Marshall being one of the form ruckmen of the competition, but I think Meek has been very good the last 3 or 4 weeks as well. There's Frost there on Max King at the matchup we spoke about pre-game.
Yeah, Meek started the season out of the team as the number 2 ruck. Ned Reeves was preferred early. He's been given the responsibility, Lloyd Meek, since then.
I think they love his competitiveness. So against Tim English last week, half-time, he'd had 10 contested possessions to English's none. Now English plays a bit different, but he's just a bit old-fashioned. Get in there, throw the body around, get on the inside and get to work.
And we know Rowan Marshall's got the goods to be the best ruck in the competition. He can get a consistent season. Windhager tries to break through. McKenzie makes sure he doesn't. Two rucks plead their case as to who was in the wrong position. Left doors closed quickly on McKenzie again.
It's just interesting with that King matchup, Brownie. Weddle actually started on him high, and as soon as King went deep, they switched over for Frost to take him deep.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to play positional areas of the ground. They like Weddle off half-back.
Marshall ripped out of the air. Well, Henry didn't go for the ball, and Impey just went for it. That was a bit weird.
Outstanding last week, Dwayne. He had a great game, nearly best on ground for Hawthorn, Jarman Impey.
Yes, reliable, rarely misses games. Every game this season, only missed one last year, Jarman Impey.
So this is this uncontested mark situation that they like to work their way out. So this is a win for the Saints, long down the line.
And M1 does exactly that. There is Diaz.
See, that's a good game.
His name written all over it. He did it a couple of times last week. This is just game 2.
Dizzy flies well in the air, doesn't he, Gaz?
Honest Moons in the air. Takes some courage to do what he does. He's a beauty.
Good 2 goals on debut, and down the other end, Marshall in defence takes the mark. Goes back, and we'll see if this running game that Ross Lyon wanted to play early in the season can be sparked. Wanganeen-Milera, Bonner, Wilkie, Hill.
They're all the names that you want for a running game, but maybe a little bit better kick than that, but they're all there.
Yeah, Hill there, playing as half forward, but gets up, really, he's an extra midfielder, Gaz. He gets up involved. Obviously, he tries to get the initial kick and then tries to get another one on the way through. That's a handball receive.
D'Ambrosio has been a good pickup for them this season as well. Grabbed him over the summer, gave him a 2-year contract, and it's been fantastic. Windhager's kick gathered by Impey. Found space where there wasn't a lot. Bends it around and bang, Wilkie and Watson collided. The big and the small took each other out. And in the end, Steele takes it out. And there is the Wizard. Let's hope he can be a little more Wizard-like this afternoon. He got a couple of touches last week. His tackle helped him win the game, coming on as the sub, Nick Watson. Meek, big piece of it. Knocked it down. Wood tracked it, handed it back. There is Watson on cue to McDonald, who kicked a couple last week and kicks the first one this afternoon.
Well, he's a goal kicker. He's kicked 7 for the season, Brownie.
Yeah, he has, Gaz. This has been an area, Gaz, they've struggled. Their scores from stoppage, especially in their front half. So Sam Mitchell will be happy with that, especially their midfield coach. Well, just look what happened there. Brad Hill in his customary spot, but It was a good effort just to follow up and just continually force that pressure down on defenders who are retreating, and a lovely finish there.
Like Will Day in this. I love, you talked about the hunt earlier, when you're talking about post-clearance contested footy. That's Will Day at a stoppage hunting, and his tackle turns the ball over. And as I said, McDonald's, he's been competent forward to centre, so that's a good start.
He missed a few earlier this season, shots at goal, but he was 3 straight last week. Game 50 this afternoon for Connor McDonald. Good start for the home team, the Hawks. Marshall just gets it out the front, hacks it forward, and Frost read it beautifully off the boot.
Just love to see him give that handball there. So Sinclair was there for Marshall.
Almost a turnover. Wilson nearly trapped it. Weddle waddled past them all, got it towards half-back. Bonner in a contest out there, knocked it down. Might get it back. Hill gave it back to him. Chip inside, attacking 50. King turned inside, turned Frost inside out, then couldn't nail the kick. Stayed in. Owens rolls it home. Can you believe that? It defied physics.
Yeah, very good there. Well done by St Kilda. They switched on to lock that ball in their front half, which is more St Kilda-like. We haven't seen enough of this season, guys, where they've been able to lock the ball in their front half. We know that Ross Lyons always coached teams in the past to be very good at this part of the game. Good work there. Good intensity there by Max King. Unfortunately, he didn't nail the kick, but he got a lucky bounce.
I loved it. I love Max King coming at the ball like that. It was the first, the centre bounce was marked by Frost, who came off him, so he read the ball quicker. So to see him charge out full-bodied like that, play to your strengths. This kid's super talented. We know that. He's going to be a wonderful player for St Kilda, but I hope that Max King can find some inner belief in himself and be a bit, I don't want to be selfish, but let his skills and talent go.
And the restart, Warple given a long time. Amon. Impey. McDonald, little tap was nice to McKenzie. Caught by Hasty, but got the kick away just in time. Moore inside, he rolled it. Amon went and got it and found a target in Watson on attacking 50 but wide. And Watson kind of gives the indication that he's got it covered, but I'm not sure he's fooling anyone. Yep, he says he's got it covered.
I don't think he lacks confidence, Dwayne. No. I think he's just a natural goal kicker, has been probably since the time he put on a pair of footy boots, so he's going to back himself.
Kicked more than 70 goals in various competitions last year. Nick Watson, he opens up the angle, struck it pretty well. Magnificent! Always had it covered, did the wizard.
How do you do that? And then last week missed from about 3 metres. We got a bit of feedback.
Because you've got the memory of a goldfish, Brownie, you forget about it.
That's what I love about it. It's fantastic. That's as good a goal as you'll see. Open up the angle, great forward craft. And he was confident. I loved his body language from the very start, guys. He was going, he wasn't trying to fool the umpire. He was going back with the positivity that said, no, I can kick this. Now he just started to make his way in the league. He's had a slow start, but that'll be wonderful for his confidence.
I think you might... So, Ross Lyon, look at that. I think it was Darcy Wilson that was sort of taking the inside, but in future, you'll be manning that up, you know, outside the 5-metre zone, but not allowing him to take that much of an arc. But fantastic finish.
Just game 5 for Nick Watson. Their pick 5 from last year. More caught by the ear.
Getting on the move well here at centre bounces, Hawthorn.
Heads out wide. Gunston got there late. Webster tie off the deck. Here's Wilson, who's having a fantastic first year. Darcy Wilson, their pick 18 back in last year's draft.
That's the kick to Jack Gunston that they won't want to do too often, I reckon. Long, high and slow into a contested area. So quick ball movement, the likes that we saw earlier with Watson leading up. Doesn't matter who the target is, just got to be on the move.
Meek worked his way to the front, got his palm on up and down to Wood. Well, Garcia and Hill looked at each other to see who was going. Scrimshaw just went and got it, and then he was caught to his detriment. Hill plays on to advantage. Had that allowance. McKenzie's going to have to go. King against the two of them. Hasty shut down immediately by Newcomb.
It's great effort by McKenzie to come back and support his defender there in Frost too. King looked in a really good position. That's what you need from your wingers.
Owens puts his hand up to do the ruck work, but he had a full-time ruck against him in Meek. Warple had it knocked from his grasp. They gain the strip. Sinclair outside of the boot. And Frost on the goal line tapped it through.
It's good awareness there by Frosty. Good goalkeeping. Jack Sinclair, I'm going to watch him. He was dominant last week against North Melbourne. I think Warple's trying to keep an eye on him at stoppages.
Sarong, another one back into the lineup for the Hawks this week. Watson's going to have to go here. And did go. And got up. Got it to ground. That was the main thing.
And followed up with some good pressure as well, Dwayne. So I know he's only tiny, but as we said earlier, they don't have a big key forward. So you're just going to have to jump and compete when it's your turn.
He's needed a bit of a rest after they took the wind out of him this landing here, Gaz.
Yes, look at him bounce up, though, and he gets involved in the next passage. But when it's your turn to go as a Hawthorn forward, you're going to have to go today.
He's one of the shortest players in the AFL, 170 centimetres with his socks on.
Need the high jump, Matt.
He's got a huge upside, they say. Hill, almost a throw. Hasty to steal, knocked it in his direction, then nearly missed his fist. Ross went inside. Eamon, McDonald, and in pick and go. Had to wait for it. Got the kick away, bumped on the kick. Fist was good from Deer, competing well in the air. To Moore, to Ginnivan, will he go? No, he'll go back.
So again, I know it sounds broken record-ish, but Kelsha Deer's ability then to get up and contest against Wilkie and bring the ball to ground. That's it in a nutshell. Any mark is a bonus, but that is as good as anything they'll do today. Contest, front and square, set up your other smaller forward. 9th game for the Hawks. He's kicked 9 goals for them so far. 9-9, so a little inaccurate, and that proves it right. Hold free, and it's going to Wilkie. So last 2 inside 50 targets have been Watson and Ginnivan, lead up forwards. Battle short. Wanganeen-Milera, Webster, Howard. Angus Hasty. He's doing some work on his back. Just minutes before the ball was bounced. It's good that he's okay, although it's just been put on his back. And he's kicked it to where that massage mat was. Shaking his head with disappointment.
Keep going, 2 more metres. Thank you. Lie on.
Scrimshaw. Meek, like a vice. It's Stuart Lohands, big Lloyd Meek. So he is a big, tall target. So on a slow play, he will try and work down Brownie and provide the target.
He does work hard forward. A little bit of a push. Yeah, no, I think he played for Jack Hayes there. That's fair enough. Good mark. Just take a leaf out of the Wizards book here. Same spot. Not sure he's got the same agility running around.
No, maybe not. He's kicked 10 goals, though, in 38 games. Kicked 4 this year.
Pretty good off the boot.
Danny Quinlan.
It's a gem. The mark and the goal.
I think Sam Mitchell will be happy the way the Hawks have settled into this game. They've been good around the clearance situations. I think they've been able to force the ball into the front half and had good contests ahead of the ball. And clearly, their goal kicking has been fantastic. 2 longer shots now from Meek and Watson moments ago. So I think advantage towards Hawthorn at the moment. St Kilda just on the back foot.
Well, they've only been inside 55 times, Brownie. They've kicked 3 goals and they've taken 3 marks. For a forward line that we highlighted pre-game that was bereft of, obviously, Mitch Lewis is not there and any other tall target they may have, to be able to enter 5 times, kick 3 goals and take 3 marks is a fantastic result.
Gee, marks like low, kicks like Quinlan. He might be playing in the wrong position, boys.
Just a bit carried away there, Moon, maybe.
Hayes in the ruck against him still. Talked about a pre-game, but Hawthorn coming in having won 2 of their past 5, despite losing their first
Holding Hawthorn, Nash.
5 games. So they've got a bit of form on their side. Nash gets the free.
Got a bit of momentum here too, Rhino.
Yep. Heads long for the leapers to go up. Crash to the deck. Hardwick ran into a brick wall. Newcomb flicked it up. There's Meek again. Ginnivan, how's that for a quick fire handoff? Seamus Mitchell back into the lineup for the Hawks this week as well. Warple had to wait for a second. Sinclair went down and got it. Amon caught Henry. Good tackle. Dispossessed. Crowd want a ball. It's slick at the moment. Wilson, Ross. Warple wrapped him up. Could have been ball. D'Ambrosio goes and gets it anyway. Nash. Flicked away. Saints getting players back to lend a hand. Stocker. Danger.
Great heat.
Battle caught. That could have been ball. Moore. That could have been high. Meek. He hits back again. Warple. Shut down late. And Hill goes wide and they get out of danger. Membry thumps it long. In hope. Marshall resting forward. Good one-on-one. Frost, Marshall. Weddle gets in Hill's way and content to see that out.
Pressure from both teams there. Looked like Hawthorn were through. They were fantastic. But St Kilda, they've been pretty good as well. Both up around 200 or beyond. Great effort to hold up there defensively, St Kilda.
Take that if you're the Hawks, and St Kilda no slouches either, so it's a good contest.
Hasn't been a strength for Hawthorn.
Newcomb tried to hand it off whilst he was being edged out of it. Meek, Nash goes back and gets it to Meek. Caught immediately by Garcia.
Nash looks to me, I don't know if he's running with Sinclair or he's just taking responsibility for him. I know he likes to have a starting point, Connor Nash.
Marshall looked out of the air, threw a few sets of fingertips and then threw a few boots, and that's kicked off the deck. It's only behind because it was a Hawthorn boot that put it through. Well, we think it was.
Yep. Score review. Umpires call us behind. Please check who the ball came on.
This will be a quick one.
Review underway.
I think he deliberately put it through. Weddle.
No, I don't think it was deliberate. I think he
Well, yeah.
half knowing. Not
Review complete. Looking at these angles, we can see the ball comes off the Hawthorn defender's boot last before crossing the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
Confirmation that it is a behind. A lot of Hawk fans in the house. They're home away from home. Really established a good following here in Launceston. Down the spine they travel. Weddle front on contact free.
held the ball up the air, Scrimshaw, as if it was some sort of set play, and then isolated Weddle with Henry.
So Weddle goes, and in the end went out wide to D'Ambrosio. Amon to the switch. Frost. Day. And have looked better since he's been back. A little bit of a mongrel to half forward, but Watson made it his. Danced his way past a couple. Warple thumps it. Little edge out by Gunston was good, and more. Pounced and goal.
He's a good player. He's so underrated, I think, to the football, obviously the Hawk lovers. They know Dylan Moore, but to the outside, for the wider footy public, probably not as known, Gaz, for his work rate, his skill, his impact on the Hawks up the ground, and then his ability then to get inside 50. Dylan Moore averages up around 20 touches and a goal a game, which is very rare company.
He is. I think he's becoming more and more appreciated every week. I just love what they're doing when they go inside forward 50. And this is the sharpest we've seen Nick Watson. Massive raps on him coming into this season, and I know he missed a couple of weeks with an injury, but he looks sharp. Ball gets to the ground, so Meek's wandered forward and taken a contested mark and kicked a goal. Apart from that, McDonald, Watson and Moore are goal scorers. Ball comes to the ground or small forwards leading up. It's a different mix that this St.Kilda defence are having to deal with right now, and it's advantage Hawthorn.
Warble kicked out of the air. Quick fire handoff does work. Windhager got it inside 50. Scrimshaw went back with the flight courageously. Membry waited for the handoff. Day caught him quickly. Impey had a sneaky chance, but it was a tough one to grab.
Frustration there for Max King is that your positioning of your other forwards, and I know it's harder in 666, but I mean, his teammate brought the man back into his space. He would have marked that on his chest.
McKenzie working hard in tight. Windhager tries to shut him down. Nash. Little toe poke was nice. Steele got it back again. A bit of hasty. King, half fumble. Frost, half a tackle. Knocked out. Nash, jam tackled. McKenzie against the grain, taken to the deck.
King been involved early though, Gaz, which is a good sign. He's either getting his hands on the ball or he's flying for contest. I'd like to see Liam Henry get involved. Still hasn't touched the ball. First game back in around the footy now.
Big slap down, but Weddle was waiting. Didn't know if he wanted to pick it up or not in there. Owens somehow got it out. Steele got it out. Big kick this. Angus Hasty, and it's the momentum back.
I think Hawthorn's pressure's been, we've seen it, the number, but the eye is telling us how good it's been. There's been no time and space. So you talked pre-game about their runners, and you're 100% right. If they can get space and time, Hawthorn haven't allowed them any.
Sarong bangs it long. Pack clean misses it. Deere went and got it. Hardwick, little tap toward the line. So Hardwick playing forward again. He's been a great swingman for them this season. For Sam Mitchell, playing wherever Sam wants him.
It's like a pseudo key position player, Dwayne. He can take a mark.
Yeah.
He's got the swagger of a key forward. He has, even though he might be lacking a few inches.
Well, kick bags of 12 and 10 in the TAC Cup. Came into the comp as a forward. Blake Hardwick, high tackle.
And Sam Mitchell has said that he sees himself as a forward, Blake Hardwick, even though he's a very capable defender.
As a forward in the under-18 competition of the highest order.
So
got to get something happening here, the Saints. They've been under pressure for this whole quarter.
Bonner.
There it is.
How's that for a perfect pass to Membry on the move?
Well, he had Sarong as the matchup. So, sorry, he had Mitchell. Seamus Mitchell as the matchup. Now, he hasn't played a hell of a lot of footy, Seamus Mitchell. Tim Membry's played a hell of a lot of footy as a full forward out of the goal square. So, it was smart to take the young man somewhere where he doesn't really want to go.
Good pick up, Bonner. Kick.
A lot of good pickups, or Tim Membry's one. They got him from Sydney, only the one game for the Swans, but a good pickup. Won the Saints goal kicking 3 times. And he delivers on cue. Tim Membry.
Oh, you love that as a forward, Gaz. A leading forward, very rarely you can slice through all the traffic. A lot of traffic back there. There's nothing wrong with Hawthorn's defence, but this was just magnificent. This is taking your opportunities, just creating something out of nothing. And they just build up slowly, got into the right position until Bonner was confident he could nail that kick. And, oh, geez, they had to thread it through the eye of the needle.
I said there's a lot of handing over going on. He may have been Sarong initially, and then they all sort of swapped, but in the end, it just opened and parted up, and they needed it. I think they really needed that, St Kilda, just to get themselves back in the contest. And he's been around for a long time, Timmy Membry. So sometimes it's about isolating a matchup that you think's more in your favour than the opposition's, and Timmy, how the square works.
Marshall back in the ruck against Meek. The 2 number 1s resume hostilities. Quick fire handoff by Wilson to Windhager. Saints inside 50 again. Good crumb, Garcia. Little flick on Owens. Wasn't quite on the same page with his teammates though. McGuinness toward the wing. Hardwick competed, got it to ground. Webster, Bonner. 2-on-2 ahead of the ball. Hayes put to the deck. Henry across from one half forward flank to the other to Hasty. Caught. Membry. He's the hot hand. Heads to full forward. Weddle.
Good work, right?
Well, he wins all the pre-season runs. Josh Weddle, he's a good athlete.
Covering plenty of ground.
Wants to play as a midfielder in time, but was an all-Australian fullback, so pigeonholed as a defender. Newcomb flew. Deere.
Just watching Bruce down here on the boundary at the moment, guys. Has not stopped talking to every forward that's come off the ground. He walks them along the boundary line. He coaches them there. He's there. I'll be looking for a new job.
Well, that's great,
Still
though,
got a
isn't
couple
it?
of years left in him, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
he does.
Well, it's a big part of what they're trying to do, like as we've spoken about. So he would be absolutely pivotal to what they're trying to work out with this undermanned forward group. So it makes sense.
Game 285 for Luke Bruce. So needs to play next year to play his 300th for the Hawks, unless, of course, the Hawks play finals this year. Windhager scooped away by Steele. Henry hasn't had much of it yet, hasn't played since round 2. Windhager jammed. Wilson. Steele, great smother. Brilliant stuff by Seamus Mitchell. And now he's in some trouble. Between his legs, he got it out.
How good was that? That passage of play summed up where Hawthorn's pressure is at.
Marshall played on. Ginnivan got him. That's got to be ball.
Good awareness by Ginnivan.
Every time a St Kilda player got the ball in that little passage of play, there was a Hawthorn player in his grill, and no time, no space.
Always lively. Jack Ginnivan goes all the way back to Amon. Danger now. Go get that, Jack. And Scrimshaw does. Seamus Mitchell. Impey. Not out of trouble yet. Steele. Sinclair. This is Henry's moment. And he takes it.
Yeah, wonderful mark. He's had Jarman Impey on him, so he's been finding it hard to find the footy. He got it to catch moments ago, but that's a beautiful mark. That'll give him a confidence builder. It's looked dangerous early in the season when he's come across from Fremantle. Carl Amon, bad kick there by Amon. He's a better kick than that.
Oh, hit the post. Looked like it was going to scrape him by a coat of paint.
Just one on Carl Amon, guys. He's a beautiful kick, but he has turned it over too many times this year. Yeah. So even though you can be a beautiful kick, sometimes you can maybe go for those speculators. Just need to play in the V early.
Scrimshaw heads toward Meek. A big pause on it, but couldn't mark it. McKenzie nicely through the traffic. Nash. Impey. Stocker puts it to grass. Day worried him out of it. Now Moore goes and gets it. Stocker a little angry by dropping it. Mops up his mess. Good game at the moment. 3 minutes to quarter time. Bright sunshine, perfect conditions in Launceston. The big fist. Impey blasts it forward in hope. Deer. Brilliant. But he had Deer in his headlights. Did Howard shut him down. All the way back to the back pocket to Webster. Wanganeen-Milera. Wood. It's cautiously back.
Set up for the switch here. Hawthorn protected down the line really well.
Bonner had to wait. He was corralled by Deer. Room to move. Owens. Back to Bonner, who blasts it to a good spot. That's the one they were after. King with the big pluck.
Look what I've seen earlier with Max King. He's jumped at the ball. He's competed.
It's good, Brownie, because he went off the ground and they kicked the goal and they had a different look and it looked completely different. And now he's come back on and had another jump. So maybe, you know, it takes a bit of pressure off when he can sit there and see that they score anyway when he's not there. And
well, Frosty was on the bench, so he's just come on now and he's screaming at everybody.
Yeah, he wouldn't be happy with that, Birds.
Gets himself on the score sheet and up and running.
Well, key thing for a key forward, Gaz, what you mark yourself on when you get to quarter time, half time, whatever it may be, but in this instant, quarter time, how many contests have I been in?
yeah.
Have I given my teammates a target to kick to, and have I given myself an opportunity to get into the game or impact the contest without just having marks and goals? And he's been able to do that. So early on, he had some important touches. I think, obviously, that's what you love as a key forward, the big contested mark. ahead of the ball, the hardest thing in football, and then go back and kick the goal.
Well, he would have loved the way the ball came down as well. So the change of direction, and then Riley Bonner, and as much as he would love it and Ross Lyon would love the ball movement, Sam Mitchell would be filthy with the way that Riley Bonner just had two possessions, 2 plays, and that all the way down from one end of the ground to the other. So big confidence builder for the big fella.
The last 2, the Saints. Nash caught immediately. Day got his arms free. Warple, Newcomb, D'Ambrosio, nice pickup. Heads wide, and it's a bullet to Gunston's chest.
Great signs this first quarter with Hawthorn's ability to move it out of stoppage and score from stoppage. So last coming into this game, scoring from stoppage, they've already scored 2 goals from that source. This could possibly be a third. Good signs. There's been real positive movement, especially out of those centre bounce. Hawthorn players, Hawthorn mids running and moving through that contest.
He's kicked 4 goals 11 this year. He's been a little inaccurate, but at his best, it's tough from that spot, though, to be kicking goals from there. That's not the place you want to be kicking from.
No, but again, his role is to hit up, be a target, and again, bring the ball to ground for his smalls.
Bonner down the middle to Webster. So they've got time for this cautious and then go build up if they want to. Webster doesn't really look like he wants to.
Last 5 minutes, St Kilda have given Hawthorn a little bit of their own medicine. Ramped the pressure up, not allowed them time and space, closed it down a bit, kicked the last 2 goals.
Wilkie happy to chew up seconds. Down the line. Almost Marshall. Both these teams coming in off some good form. Hawthorn, 7-point win over the Dogs. Saints by 38 over North. From the slap down. Seconds start rolling again. It's a wide ball. Impey tracks it. Not where the signs are saying there's only seconds left. Henry, for a second, kept it alive, but it's quarter time in a sunny Launceston. Great to have your company on Fox Footy. Super Saturday coming your way. Wall-to-wall footy.
Could be something here, boys. Could be something.
Yeah, they just a little bit of Max King and Jarman Impey, I think it was, involved, but it's petered out pretty quickly.
Crowds enjoyed it so far to quarter time. Saints kicked the last 2 goals of the quarter. It's 25-21. And don't forget, Essendon and the Giants, following this one, do not go anywhere. It's quarter time in the 25th annual Blue Ribbon Cup game. On All Police, those with us and those lost, including Gary Silk and Rodney Miller. And in an earlier Blue Ribbon Cup game, Sam Mitchell won the medal, and Jimmy Miller, the son of fallen officer Rodney Miller, and Jack Scrimshaw, a good friend. You saw the Jack Scrimshaw, Sam Mitchell back and forth from a couple of weeks ago. Well, they've known each other for a while. This is Jack Scrimshaw's first meeting with Sam Mitchell all those years ago, and they've become pretty good friends, and they've got a good relationship now if you can take that spray and play the kind of footy he's played.
That's a great find. That is one of the great photos right there. So it's going back 12 years, and now via the GWS Giants, he finds himself playing under what would have been his boyhood hero. So that is a great catch. Hey, good game of footy. Thought Hawthorn's pressure was magnificent early in the piece. Put a lot of heat on them. Their small forwards gave them all sorts of trouble, and the Saints just steadied in the last 10 minutes. Browning got it back on their terms a bit. Yeah, that man there, Aidan Bonner, on the other side of Wanganeen-Milera, he was fantastic. 7 kicks at 100% the first quarter, 3 inside 50s, Gaz, including that one that he hit Tim Memory for a goal. So, yes, worked their way back into the contest nicely. They're actually beating Hawthorn their own game. We said, look at their uncontested marks there. They've been able to beat them in that area, and also the contested possessions away from the clearance situation. So just getting to work now, the Saints mids. We know they've got really good runners. Max King, good finish the quarter, strong contested mark, so he'll be feeling good about himself.
Hawks did lead by 16 points. They lead by 4 to start the second term.
The last 10 minutes only went inside 54 times. St Kilda kicked 2 goals, 1. So they started to get it back on their terms a bit.
Warple stole it, wobbled it, Battle dropped it. Now he's under the hammer. Hardwick riding him. McDonald out to Ginnivan. Caught, but got a kick away. Off hands Gunston. Now Deer, if Hill taken to the line, will get a ball in.
So it's forward 50 pressure and tackles has got to be the next part of it for the Hawks. They're not going to be taking big contested marks throughout the afternoon, but I tell you what, Sam Mitchell will be demanding that there's heat and pressure on in their forward half here.
Marshall and Meek go at it. Shortish throw in. He hit the carpet and Meek wrapped up.
Dylan Moore.
Tackled.
Sorry, Dwayne. Dylan Moore, always the most active in these situations. Aidan Bonner, his direct opponent here, has to watch him closely. Needs some support from teammates.
Flung in the air, Meek again, goes hard, he gets his own ball back and then he's caught again and it is holding the ball. Marshall, it's been a good battle that. Messiah Wanganeen-Milera, game 50. Wilkie not the required, and is that trouble? It's, you cut some slack there. The umpire could have made him make an attempt, but he just said, no, I'll ball it up instead. Marshall, little piece of it. McDonald against the grain. Likewise, Webster caught, and it's tough ball to win at the moment.
It's not pretty, but it's just about keeping it in here, Brownie. They look like they're going to get out. Then Will Day laid the tackle. It's still inside the forward 50.
Marshall kicked it into the head of Warple. Keep an eye on how he is. Sarong, Weddle from 3 deep, knocked it down. Impey did well, rolled his handball out. Day, good fake inside, went outside. McInnes, Hess of the pocket, Meeks down there. Had 2 against him as Howard thumps it to the line.
Good sport by Howard.
Caught this one in the snout.
Oh, yeah.
Not funny from here. Not so much there.
No. But you take the smother.
Yeah, he's stat sheet.
Keeps it in your area. Marshall again ripped it out of the air. Windhager. Steele. Webster. 3-on-3 on the wing. Sarong got hands on it. Henry can't keep it alive. Saints finished 6th last season. Lost the elimination final to the Giants. A lot expected of the Saints this year. They've started the season slowly. 3 wins and 5 losses coming in. Began the round 14th. They're coming off a win last week, and Liam Henry back in. Does give them a better look. Here he is on cue. Can't trap it to get it and go.
Yeah, trying to get involved. He's getting active up around the stoppages. He comes up high. He had a quiet first quarter. Jarman Impey was watching him closely.
Hamstring strain in round 2. Liam Henry. So this is 3rd game as a Saint. Marshall knocks it down to the front. Windhager. Steele. Marshall. Hasty. Battle. Not sure what he was up to there, but he bounced off like a rubber ball. McInnes. Caught immediately. No prior.
Just Jack Gunston didn't know what he's doing either, because he basically rolled up and just ran at Jack Gunston, who assumed he was going to kick it, so didn't even get his arms out for a tackle.
In that congestion, Day gets himself clear. Aim on, fans it wide to Scrimshaw. He's got D'Ambrosio working hard for him. Hits him.
Stand! Yeah.
They would limit Hawthorn's uncontested marks, St. Kilda.
Spears it down the line. McDonald waited for it, but it might still work. Newcomb went and got it. Aim on, Moore. Ginnivan to set it all up. Sinclair read his eyes and then dropped it. Mops it up, takes off. Heads down the line towards the wing. Big fly, D'Ambrosio, got it back. Sarong kindly gave it to him. Sinclair, hard tackle laid to keep it in the area. And they are hunting right now, the Hawks, with full belief. Good to have Will Day back. 3rd game back from a pre-season foot injury, Will Day.
Yeah, good to have those runners back to support the bigger body mids in there, Warple, Newcomb, Nash.
He won their best and fairest last year. He's arguably the best player they've got, Will Day. Scrimshaw, that was clever. Just backheeled it to himself, even though he didn't mean it. Newcomb, Warple, well, that was deliberate.
100%.
Insufficient intent, and it was obvious.
Feels like St Kilda have made a really good adjustment about how this game's going to unfold and play. Ross Lyon's such a smart tactician in the box, and as a result of that, the whole thing's just closed up here, and That's why we've got this 4-goal-to-3 arm wrestle going on.
Windhager set it up, but Weddle thumped it back. Webster, Moore tried to back out the back door. Goes and gets his own handball, and then he's jumped on and hooked in the backish from here. Umpire said no. Keep it rolling, boys. Hayes into the back of Scrimshaw. That was played. Frost on the run. Ginnivan.
You see how quick they can be here on transition. So big turnover. Should be players out.
Puts it in front. Deere puts it to grass. McDonald crumbed it nicely. Floats it up. 2-on-2 ahead of the ball. Gunston crushed it down. Moore couldn't get away with it. Battle caught. Moore again. Can he get the roll? Skip. Kick. Goal!
Great effort there by Dylan Moore. He's had a good start of the game. Second goal. He's had a fantastic last few weeks. Just their ability to turn up there, and that's the key. They've got to keep the work rate in. We showed pre-game guys some vision, their ability to turn up from contest to contest. Again, the Hawks do that. Not that St Kilda were poor, because they did get back there quickly. But Dylan Moore gets front and centre. That's an opportunist goal.
There's some non-negotiables going on for Sam Mitchell in their forward half, and that's one of them, Jack Gunston. I reckon the message would be, I don't really, if you can kick a goal, great, Jack, but don't let Kel Wilkie take a intercept mark. Let's get this ball to ground. And the fact that he did, as you said, turned up, spoiled, contested hard. He was second to the ball, but he got the ball to ground. If that non-negotiable can continue, they'll fancy themselves, because the ground level stuff, they look really dangerous.
Captain today, Dylan Moore, in the absence of James Sicily. That's his second. Sinclair drives it long, got it deep. Membry, no arm chop, couldn't control the ball. Seamus Mitchell broken away from it and smothered through for a behind. Frost getting himself in the way. Amon. Cloud dominating the skies here in Launceston at the moment after it was bright sunshine all morning. Mick went up. Newcomb on the run. McDonald. Warple. Handball smothered. Ross went hard, then went hard with Meek at the tackle.
Hasn't been an end-to-end game, Brownie. No. 8 times Hawthorn have tried to chain out of their D50. He got inside 50 once. St Kilda have gone 11 times and haven't got in there forward 50 once. So 19 times for 1 time end-to-end.
Meek, the perfect palm down, but to Ross. Scrimshaw back with a flight. Frost. Amon. Sarong. They work hard for him. He waited for that Newcomb. Went and got it. Sarong a fumble. Kenzie hemmed in, got the kick away. Wilkie and Ginnivan wrap each other up, and that's probably out of play.
Well, there's another example. So St Kilda try to get out of their back 50. Just really good pressure from Hawthorn. Stops them halfway.
Hold the meter.
But a good battle, the ruck battle. Meek knocks it down. He finds a teammate this time. Warple goes inside to Hardwick. Now to MP. Heads out into space. He wants more. Who wants more? He's got a couple. He's over it. They've got him. Gunston turning back the clock. Got it to McDonald. Heads wide. Can Ginnivan get there? Got a hand on it. Was crunched in the marking contest. And that's probably 50. Kicked away late after the whistle had blown, and it is 50.
Well, some courage here. There's some courage on display between he and Nick Watson.
He's a live boy, Jack Ginnivan, and he's inspiring them again.
We'll have a look at this, Brownie, but again, when it's your turn, whether you're 5'5" or 6'5", today you got to go. And in the end, it's back with the flight. Both players' eyes on the ball, and
yeah, it was there. He knew it was going to come. Yeah, it's tough. It's even harder, I think, when you know something's coming. Yeah, and look, he's still got his hand up there extended. Obviously, he was vulnerable from the side. Jarman Impey getting plenty of footy again, Gaz. He's dangerous getting up off the back of those stoppages. He was fantastic last week.
Cal Wilkie would be disappointed with that too. He had to know, well, he did know, but the whistle had blown and there was no chance it was a St Kilda free kick, and he made what was a, you know, an 80% shot at goal, 100% in the end. So this is good response. St Kilda kicked the last 2 goals of the game through Membry and King, close at the 3 points, and now Moore and Ginnivan have opened up.
Meek palmed it down, hard tackle by Newcomb. Harwick went harder. D'Ambrosio gave it straight to Hill of all people. Spears it towards Owens, that looked high.
Go quick, Owens.
Oh, that's 50 as well. What is Seamus Mitchell doing? Shame on Seamus. What was that all about?
That's as silly as Cal Wilkie's in the end. He could only have thought that it was their free kick. I don't know how he could possibly have thought of that. And it was a good lead up, good contest from this man, and it's been finding a goal at the right time, the Saints, just when they look a bit vulnerable.
Instant reply for the Saints. For Mitch Owens, who's got 2.
Have a look at this, Brownie. Yeah. It's a terrific tackle here. And then a mistake from D'Ambrosio to hand the footy back. The free kick is there all day long, so there's no possible way to free kick to Hawthorn. So I'm not sure what Seamus is doing here. Just dismissed the fact that he threw it back to Scrimshaw. So
we learned that in junior footy.
Well, Seamus probably didn't, to be honest. And he's just made it blue. We've all made them.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Back to 9 points.
Yeah, good reply though. St Kilda they've had to reply a few times throughout this game so far. So good return there, made it a lot easier again, that goal kick, but they won the centre bounce through. Jack Sinclair just starting to have an impact.
Meek down to Warple, his go-to man at the moment. Outside of the boot, good mark battle. He did have the height on Watson, all 169 centimetres of him. Big grab with the fly. Windhager. Took the step. Almost called the play on because his eyes played on. Meek gets back in the hole.
Again, you wonder about the messages. They were set up for the change of direction again then. 3 or 4 St Kilda players had run hard to the other side of the ground, which meant they would have been outnumbered down the line.
Thumped down the line. Howard got there late to knock it down. Ginnivan. Didn't have Pryor, and that's the rule. If you don't have Pryor and you missed your boot with a kick attempt, it's allowed. It's making an attempt, as much as it annoys some people.
I think St Kilda might need to be a bit more expansive, Gaz.
I think so, Brady. I mean, it looked like that was the tactic. I'm not sure whether it was by design or not, but there was certainly space out on the other side of the ground.
Warple held when he didn't have it. He's averaging 26 possessions a game this year. Getting higher again. It was his average last year. So he's just starting to climb again after a good season last season. Gunston a little nudge out. Day saddled. Meek bangs it. Hoping for a leaper or 2. Howard made it his own.
Yeah, that's the lack of height down there. No young deer was in the area. Look at the other guys, all smaller targets, especially Lloyd Meek's not in the forward line.
Looked like he was feeling that ball as if it was a bit flat. Howard. Wood. So the switch might be on. Howard.
And only had it 4 times up to then. Drano just might have been having a nice touch of it.
Yeah, I get it. Wilson heads out. Nice hit to Owens, and they are out here, the Saints.
It's the switch.
Steele, Hill. This is their DNA. Windhager.
Spot on, guys. That's what we were speaking about moments ago. So they were more expansive, prepared to switch it. They had to go back to their full back line and then go back around them, but they were able to move it quickly then and get the free play. Windhager, great run to charge forward.
Goal kicking's not his forte, though. 6'11" career Marcus Windhager. 2 behinds only, no goals this season, but a deep breath to maybe change his world. Is it a good ride? And Meek on the goal line takes another big grab.
Playing a big role, Meeky. He knows he's the #1 big man, and he's doing it at both ends.
Big fella, isn't he?
He is. He's got some presence about him, Cam, which is against Rowan Marshall you need, because we all rate Rowan really highly, and he's holding his own.
Day thumps it to the wing. Steele got on the end of the crumb. Battle on the back pedal. Nash was against the grain. Little fumble from Day, but he's good enough to get it. Then a fumble from Meek, just as we're wrapping him up. Wanganeen-Milera, his handball smothered by Moore. Nash back again. Sarong couldn't handle it. Amon does with poise to Gunston. And now the Hawks are out. Gunston had a couple of options. Hit the pause button. Back to Amon. Blasted long. Ginnivan. Moore with the fly. Ginnivan the crumb. Outside of the boot. He's a craftsman. He doesn't quite get it to pop.
Actually set up well beyond the ball, St Kilda then. So they would have been disappointed to allow a shot. He's a craftsman, as you said, Dwayne.
So that last play, the change of direction, was the first time that St Kilda went from one end of the ground to the other. They still haven't scored from their defensive 50, but that's sort of what we're talking about. They've been a bit conservative. Full credit to Hawthorn. Been able to lock them into a side. Let's just see whether they can get some movement on the footy. Go the length.
See those inside 50s for Hawthorn go a little bit shallower, or just along the ground, even at worst case scenario, Gaz, because they're going small at the moment with their forward line. Don't kick it in high and long at the moment.
100%. That's why they've got to wait for Lloyd Meek to get down there at various stages. But it takes a bit of gumption to kick a ball just into space as opposed to a contest. But it should be done.
Amon heads long. Moore stays down. He allows Deere to jump. Gunston couldn't get the kick away. Wilkie quickly to battle. Gets it out of the danger area. Might be coming back. Good grab, Newcomb.
It's bad roll, Newcomb. 10 disposals.
Great block from Frosty there. Great block.
Slow start to this year, John Newcomb, but starting to find some form now. Heads wide. Deere gets up there. Can't mark it. Gunston. Nice fake. Central kick. Whittle was edged out, but it's still alive for the Hawks. Newcomb. Impey. Moonwalks his way out of trouble, and then he knew who he wanted to get it to, but he sent it to Nasai Wanganeen-Milera. Just the required to Windhager. Wanganeen-Milera. Wood.
It's just conservative ball use out of the back half.
Down the line, Lepers go up. Owens and King had a fly at it. King goes and gets, and then fumbles and gets. Inside handoff, though, waited for by Impey, who bounces with some arrogance. Took on Stocker and won. Back to Jack. Ginnivan down the spine. Hester half forward, off hands. McGuinness had a sneaky chance. Bonner couldn't get a handball away. Windhager dragged to the deck by McGuinness. Great tackle. He didn't put his head into the carpet.
Yeah, it was well worked there. So Jarman Impey had nothing to kick to ahead of the ball. It's just St Kilda, 3 St Kilda defenders. That's why he had to turn back. But Ginnivan almost found the inside 50 target.
It's hammered away by Wood. Sarong read it nicely. Back into the lineup this week. Mitchell. D'Ambrosio. Biggest margin of the game was 16 points. Hawks had it earlier in the opening term. Saints have not led today at all. Scrimshaw. Down the corridor. Newcomb.
This next play is the one that's they're going to work their way through here. Not yet inside 50, but when they do, where do they go?
Day. Really arc out and maybe take on the man on the mark here.
They're watching Scrimshaw on the inside.
Just got to keep moving. If you're in that forward 50, you just got to keep moving.
He sits it up in hope. Deere's got to fly at it. Almost got it, and outmarked by Wilkie.
That's the kick we were talking about, Gaz. That one isn't going to help your forward line at all.
No, it's not. And at times they'll have to, but on a slow play like that, maybe just got to work it around.
Wilson's eyes working around.
This is what Hawthorn will be wrapped with, though.
Yeah,
they
have to slow them down.
Haven't been exposed from a full ground ball movement yet.
Stocker.
This is better.
Wanganeen-Milera. Wilkie. Crowd not sure that was the full.
It's 13.5, mate.
Yes. The wobbler cut off by Frost.
Well, Wilkie had to go. As soon as he took that mark, he had players either side. Now, there was a couple of Hawthorn around, but you've got to go.
Well organised, Gaz. You're right. You either got to go straight away, get it back into the corridor.
There's that positioning there from Frost, because he's playing 5 or 10 metres in front of King at the moment. So those shorter kicks, he's just going to come and intercept them. So either King has to come up with him, or the players have to understand and maybe take a shorter kick and then kick it over Frost's head.
Nash to half forward. Bonner caught by Harwick. Good wraparound tackle, no prior.
They're well organised behind the ball, Hawthorn. 13-5, the inside 50 counts. So Sam Mitchell, when he looks down across the ground, he'd be very happy with the way his players are spaced out, especially when St Kilda has the football.
Warple got a kick away, waited till he was spun in the right direction, then got the kick away. Wanganeen-Milera goes back. He puts Howard under the hammer. Moore stalking him. He got him. Almost a push in the back to Moore.
Oh, there was all sorts of pressure and panic there when that ball got to ground. Moore versus Howard. So the ball up would be the best possible result they could have hoped for.
Now the cavalry arrives. St Kilda surrounding the contest with bodies. Warple couldn't keep it in.
So St Kilda just inside 50, 16 times for the game, Brownie.
Not enough.
Not enough, is it? Credit to the Hawks.
You've done well to be so close to the scoreboard, really.
Nash to do the ruck work against Marshall this time. He did okay. Ross. Marshall. Big ball to win, and Hayes wins it. Plays on quickly. He's got Wilson outside. He needs a little skip bounce. He looks around to see what's on offer before he collects it. Now he runs. Heads long. Weddle. Just got a fingernail on it, I think.
It's great by Hayes, though. Even though it was a wobbly kick off the boot, just kept going.
Compare that to Wilkie the play before, when Wilkie went slow back, fought slow, and then kicked it. Go.
Hayes is a big ruckman.
You've got to you've got to have a bit of faith in what you've got around you.
Nash again doing the ruck work against Hayes. Wing tackled. Well, you're not allowed to do that. He handed that off. Garcia. Another ball in. You can't hand the ball to your teammate, can you?
Well, he's going to say he pinched it off.
It's like the under-12s.
He's in all sorts here, and he says, here, I'll grab it.
There you go.
I'm not sure he can do
He
that.
might have tried to use his head to handball that with his teeth.
Maybe he's unsighted. That's what we know with.
Meek. Seamus Mitchell missed his toe. Newcomb. Frost. So he was dumped late, so this will be a Hawthorn free kick to relieve the pressure.
There's a little bit between King and Newcomb on the quarter-time siren, so maybe he just saw his opportunity.
All Australian scored a 40 last year, second in the BNF. John Newcomb heads wide. Early jump by Deere. He was almost edged out. Battle took the mark.
So that's becoming a bit of an issue. Cam Mooney has identified that. He's taken 6 marks from opposition.
Bonner straight down to Staples. Got a fair bit of boot on it. King! Frost. Newcomb. Hardwick going back to lend a hand of defence. McKenzie didn't really have it. Umpire said play on. Membry. He's got it. Bounced off. Newcomb slaps on. Wanganeen-Milera got away. Through a couple. Dashed his way past them magnificently. Can he find a target? Not quite. Hayes, Garcia, big battle. Hardwick won it. How are the dance steps?
Well, that's a difference as the ball goes out of bounds. Is if you get it in those hands of Wanganeen-Milera and Hill and these boys, then you will get more looks inside forward 50. This is what they've got to do. Take the game on a bit more.
Wilkie hits wide. Battle. Hasty. Is exactly that. Wanted to play on quickly. Get it towards Hayes. Membry. That looked like a one-handed handball from here as it was from there.
Should have just passed it to his team. I just sort of
handed it off.
Handed it off.
Yeah. Sarong. Big 2 minutes and 40 coming up to half-time. Saints were 16 points down late in the opening term and then kicked 2 late goals in the opening quarter. Ross Lyon with a bit of work to do. Second season as St Kilda coach, the second time around. 5 seasons with St Kilda from 07 to 2011, of course. The 3 grand finals. Couldn't get that elusive flag. Newcomb somehow through them. Moore had to go. Webster tried to kill it. Sinclair, the flick handoff was good. Bonner back towards attacking 50. And Henry couldn't get near it. Was stumped away from him by Amon.
It's having a good period at the moment here. St Kilda 5 minutes. Last 5 minutes. Can they capitalise on that momentum though? Get in the front half and spend some time there now.
Yeah, Max King. And can he be the guy? A floater in his direction. Can't mark it again this time. Hardwick crumbs it. Just pumps it in the air to let a player get under it, and that player is McKenzie. To Ginnivan. Out wide was Day, and a stump clear by Bonner. Ball in. So with 1:50 left, it's on the wing.
Even though Max King's only had 3 disposals, Gaz, I think he's competed really well.
Yeah, you know who they're missing? Higgins.
Yeah,
and Butler.
They are, yeah.
Ground
level.
So at the other end, Hawthorn ground level stuff and kicking goals has been really good, but they're getting the ball to ground in their forward 50. When it does go in there, hasn't been in there all that often, yet there's been no ground ball presence.
Steele, Hill, little fumble from Bonner, and now it's Hawthorn's ball. Day, aim on, Nash, no one's in the square, bumped on the kick. Battle, Hill, spear pass is good to Steele.
Hawks have got one gatekeeper back here at the moment, so can't really go to the obvious spot.
Nash slapped it away, but got a bit of arm of Windhager on the way through. Very good game. Marcus Windhager, Saints Academy, picked 47 back in 2021.
So the change is the best way forward for them again, because down the line they're outnumbered badly.
Bonner off and running. Sneaky bounce. Cruises his way past a couple to King. Seamus Mitchell in the hole.
That's the outnumber we're talking of. So I love the fact that Bonner wants to take it on and run and carry and get it inside 50, but if he had turned his head, he would have seen some numbers out on the other side of the ground.
10th intercept mark, as for Hawthorn. It's a high number.
Deere got up, so too did Wilkie, and that's another mark to Wilkie. Deere's jumped under a couple.
Well, they're both defences now starting to mark the footy bounty, so it's becoming a bit predictable.
I had the last say of the half, the Saints. King got there late. Hardwick put his body in the hole. Fed the handball out. McGuinness blasted away. Wilkie getting back. Battle got there ahead of him.
It's 8 intercept marks to St Kilda. It's 18 in total for the game.
A mark from this, and they can have a last shot. And King got up there, got hands on it. Aim on. Weddle chips it wide. McKenzie on the siren says, let's hold it up, boys. And let's head in at half-time with a 10-point margin. Biggest margin of the game was the 16-point lead. The Hawks led by halfway through the opening term. Saints got it back to 4 at quarter time, but the Hawks have won both the first 2 quarters, and they lead by 10 at the half. 6. Good crowd in here in Launceston in Tasmania, and it's edge of the seat stuff at the moment. The Saints, who finished 6th last year, made the finals, are on the ropes. 3 wins, 5 losses coming in. 14th on the ladder coming in. This is one game they don't want to drop, and the Hawks have led from the outset. Second half underway. Meek, who's been great, down to Warple, rolls it towards half forward. Ginnivan traps it, flicks it out. Moore, it's been splendid. Turned outside when most thought he was turning in. D'Ambrosio, good step, better kick. Newcomb just cut off last second. Wilkie caught. And did he have an opportunity? He didn't.
D'Ambrosio had an opportunity to kick the goal. Just think he was just overthought it.
Meek, Ginnivan stalking it. He got it, and they got him. Battle put him to the deck. Owens, hasty, Newcomb.
It's been like a big bull, Newcomb.
Yeah, it's been back to his best, hasn't he? Look, it's a big quarter footy here. We want to see what sort of intent both teams have got to move the footy. We thought the Saints were too conservative. We want to see if they take it on a little bit more. Centre-bounce clearance from Hawthorn puts him in a really good spot. So it's a big 10 minutes, I think, to see exactly what's been spoken about.
Ginnivan, Gunston, Newcomb. He pulled his kick late to go central and it's stolen by Wood.
Can they go here?
Opens up for Hill. Wanganeen-Milera. Dance back.
Keep going, Dwayno.
Membry keeps it in. Has the 1-2. In fact, it was out of play, was it?
Key players touch the ball there, though. Hill, Wanganeen-Milera and Wilson.
Yep, exactly.
They can just get Henry involved as well, guys, just to get the running play. There's substitution there.
Yeah, we've got a sub down here with Hayes coming off and obviously patting on. So Hayes was playing that second ruck role, Gaz and Brownie. So interesting to see what they do now with when they need that second ruck.
I think it's all about the run. I think that gives us an idea of the mindset of Rossi Lyon. He said, nah, we've got to get going. We've got to get on our bike. So sub out the big and get a runner on.
Ben Patton back into the lineup. First game for the season after a torn pec.
It's a little insight into the team meeting and the direction, as you said, Gaz, from Ross Lyon.
Battle thumps it. King's in the hole. And Weddle got up. Couldn't mark it. Henry jumped on the crumb. And then they jumped on him. So
I actually wouldn't mind seeing Bruce come on quicker than normal guys, because that's been a real problem for Hawthorn as well. That once that ball hits the ground, who's going to kick their goals? I'd love to see it maybe a tactical stuff for Hawthorn soon.
Just hit.
see what Sam Mitchell does in response. Sinclair got it out. Membry. Hasty. Great smother.
Mitch Owens,
putting his body on it.
Sorry, Dwayne. Mitch Owens, the second ruck. He's certainly played there a fair bit in the past, so he'll resume that role, I would have thought.
Yeah, Jack Hayes was brought in last week to replace both Caminiti and Sharman last week. They were both dropped, so a couple of tools out. Meek pumps it away. Big ball to win. Wilkie one way. Howard,
Good effort.
part of the C's, went straight down the spine. Weddle gets up. Big fist go up with him. Aim on. Thought he had it. Little pump wide. McKenzie happy to stand in the hole. Hasty knocked it away. McKenzie went and got it again. Sinclair wrapped him up with arms and legs.
I know Howard's had a scratchy season, but he left his man there, took the risk. That's a sort of attacking mindset the Saints have got to adopt.
Weddle again under some heat. Wrestle on. Ginnivan and Battle. Umpire let it roll. Battle in the hill direction. He left it behind. Amon toes it off the carpet. Deer missed his handball target. Wilson made it his own. McDonald pumps it high. Open forward line. Almost a hold on Moore. Flicked it up towards Deer. Turned his body into the tackler. Did pretty well to hold it in the area.
Dylan Moore makes defenders nervous at the moment, Gaz. Jimmy Webster there, it was all over him.
I've seen that played this year.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
On about three different occasions there from Jimmy.
Newcomb, they might get one anyway. Touched, was it? Howard claims it, and the umpire heard it and saw it.
Marshall needs to step up in these ruck contests, guys. Meek's grabbed the ball 3 times in the last 3 contests.
Very good, the big fella. He's got a presence about him. This is a bit more like it. You've got to keep going here, though.
Hill gives it back to Wilkie, giving them plenty of run. Scrimshaw. Impey. Amon, who's had a ton of it. McKenzie.
So they're standing up as well, the Hawks. You know, 4 goals from St Kilda wouldn't go down well. And right now, though, Hawthorn's defence is standing up really well.
Seamus Mitchell in game 19. Good grab. Warple gets it off fingertips. Heads long. They've got the open forward line with Hardwick. And Deer got in his way.
Oh, he spoiled him. Council Deer spoiled him.
Wow, no peripheral vision there at all.
This looked like he got completely confused then.
Membry. This will hurt if the Saints get one on the way back. Henry half held. Frost did well. McKenzie. Gunston on the way back to the back pocket. Floats it wide. Meek and Marshall.
Young Kelshadere might have had St Kilda colours when he was a junior.
He's just got eyes for the footy. And you're right, the peripheral vision should have allowed him to see. Well, he should have taken a look for a start. But that's okay. It's his second game, and he's impressive. He's an impressive type.
Marshall down to Sinclair, caught immediately. Newcomb weaves his way past a couple. Thumps it long. Deere gets his chance, and he's got it.
Well, that's good. The next time you get a chance, you do that.
He hands it off to McDonald again, who loads up and misses.
It is opening up, Brownie, which these games tend to do. And right now, it's Hawthorn that look most likely. When the game gets out into space, they're the ones going inside 50 that looks more likely.
I might want to put a bit of work into John Newcomb. He's just looking like the big, powerful ball charging through the stoppages at the moment. So St. Kilda just need to be a bit more conscious of him at stoppage situations.
As the coach has wandered down to the bench too, so Moons, keep an eye on that. Some pretty direct feedback coming, I think, for the Saints. Ross Lyon sitting on the bench, ground level.
Bonner goes inside. Weddle got a hand on it. Sinclair came up with the crumb. And Battle, he's sent forward. It's happened a few times in his career.
Well, he was playing on Nick Watson in the first half at times. Yeah, a bit of a mismatch there.
So Hayes subbed out, Battle forward to lend a hand to Max King.
Swinging the changes. Ross Lyon put him in the middle a couple of weeks ago, Josh Battle, when they weren't getting much from the middle. So he obviously respects him as a competitor.
Delightful kick. And it's a one-kick game.
It's great effort there. And you love that when you swing the change and they work very early on in the quarter. So good effort there. He needed that. Hawthorn have been very good early in this third quarter. Just have a look at the build-up here. Just able to recover.
Great Bunnings build-up it was, sending Battle forward. So Ross, coaching from the benches, pulled the right rein there.
Yeah, he has, Brownie, and I like it. I like it when coaches don't sit on their hands and get proactive. And the fact the Hawks only kicked 6 goals, and I think they've had the much better of it in the first half, but they only kicked 6, so the door was still there for them. And all of a sudden they've kicked 1. It's almost back at level pegging.
I think they had to change it up, guys. Whether that be the ball movement, or the tactics, or the actual personnel and the positioning within that.
He's going to work. Here he is. This is really interesting too. So he's down at ground level. I think he'd had enough. He'd seen enough. He's going to get moving. We said at the start that both these teams need to be coached heavily in this game, and that's what's starting to unfold here.
You can feel the game's gone up a gear now. Weddle on the drive-by. Long inside 50. Gustin got there late, but he did his job. He got it to ground. Webster caught, dispossessed. McGuinness half had it. Watson just went and stole it. To Ginnivan, to Seamus Mitchell. Scrambles inside 50. Almost Deere. Hardwick out of nowhere. Behind.
Very interesting, guys. Rossi's gone straight back up. So it was only a quick message that he wanted to come down and relay to the players and to the staff down here. So he's gone back up now.
I think he wanted everyone to see him down there, I reckon.
Might have been just a few choice words and off he went.
Yeah, just to see that he's only 20 metres away if it doesn't start to fix.
How would you have gone with Barmy down there, guys?
He would have said, "Go, you blokes, what's going on?"
Howard's another option that can push forward. He once kicked 8 goals in a Sandford game. Dougal Howard, another defender who was once a forward. There's quite a few of them in the comp. Steele inside with his hand off to Stocker.
So it's a bit more urgency here, a bit more want to keep going, a bit more want to move the football.
Bonner to Wilkie to Ross. The other Ross, not the one that was down on the bench for a while. So Battle does exactly that. Turns, goes, and goes to Wood.
Well, again, John and Cam, as a forward, to see someone come at the ball like Josh Battle did and then just keep rolling around on the right hand, it gives you, and all of a sudden it puts you in the box seat.
Well, forwards know what forwards want, don't they?
Well, you should always have an advantage over your defender, and if you move the ball like Josh Battle just did then, you're a massive chance.
An impact.
Pretty much good for a goal a game career, Mason Wood. Game 121. This will be goal 113. Post.
So challenge for the Hawks now. So they should know. They should realise that St Kilda have got some urgency. They've got some heat on the footy. So they've got to react and react accordingly.
They did get some marks here, Hawthorn. Only 4 for this quarter.
Amon sends it long. Hardwick tried the big thump on.
St Kilda had 23 marks, Gaz. So even though they've moved the ball with a bit more urgency this quarter,
21 to 2 uncontested, man.
Yeah, they're still being able to find each other. So they're being more expansive, getting on the move, but it's ball speed. Keeping the ball moving, not standing and going back from the mark.
Marshall, the big palm on that. Wood, Impey, piece of each other. Marshall wobbles it away. King couldn't get there, and Seamus Mitchell put his body in the hole again.
Can Hawthorn do the same thing? Can they go back at them? It feels as if their movement's been stalled.
Weddle, D'Ambrosio, Impey. 2-on-2 on the wing.
Well, they've lost a bit of control because they're not marking the footy.
No, that's right.
So all the control is with St Kilda right now. So this is what in-game adjustment, not waiting for three-quarter time to make this adjustment. 21 uncontested marks. The leaders are out there screaming now. Close up. You got to close up.
Steele, caught, Owens, Windhager, great smother. Nash kept his body in the area, and Day flings it back to the boundary umpire, ball in.
Windhager just following Newcomb around. He's been a bit closer on him this quarter. Maybe a directive.
Marshall, another big palm on that. Past Hasty, Newcomb went and got it, gave it to Amon. Bangs it around to a pretty good spot at centre-half forward. McDonald couldn't trap it. Marshall does. Dainty little kick. Wasn't the required. Windhager plays on. It might work to their advantage. Wood took the netball step. That was good enough. You went. Pumps it. Battle. Not quite. King danced his way past a couple. Windhager. Great follow-up. Hess to full forward. Past the outstretched hand, and a ball into win for the Saints.
8-1 clearances in favour of Hawthorn. The only area of this third quarter that they're starting to, that they've got any dominance. But all it means is that St Kilda are winning it back once they've cleared the area. And that gives them a bit of rebound.
Sun shining on a beautiful afternoon in Launceston. Ball in Wood's direction, kicked off the carpet by Wilson.
A lot of space there over the back for St Kilda. So Hawthorn need to be wary of that, especially in such a dangerous position for St Kilda. The forward 50 is Ross Lyon. Pretty active this quarter on the phone or down on the bench. That's what coaching's all about, though, Gaz. That's why he's one of the best.
It's a totally different complexion come over the game here. So Hawthorn now, when the ball's, and they're in chaos for the whole quarter, they just can't get any control.
Howard got the double fister on it. Windhager. Steele inside. Wanganeen-Milera shut down. Little fumble from Wilson. Gave it off to the sub, Patton. First touch is delightful. Ross.
So you go back to the start of that and see how quickly the ball moves. Don't worry about the players. Just the ball just goes bing, 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 bing. And from one end to the other. And all of a sudden, it's just in the hands and out. And then Patton with some nice composure. So it is a huge turnaround. It hasn't shown up on the scoreboard just yet, but it is becoming a little bit overwhelming.
Yep, just up and down.
Kicked 35-51 career. That's not going to help his stat, although that was a rush behind, but he hasn't been able to get better than 50-50 as a goal kicker his entire AFL life. That was a chance to take the lead for the first time today.
You love it as a coach when you do make a move. Josh Battle going forward, been impressive. 6 disposals, 3 inside 50s and a goal.
Super.
Watson slick-handed. Likewise, Day got it off to Deer, but his lollies were stolen. Wanganeen-Milera did this a couple of times. Weaved his way through with some players in the first half. Windhager, Hill, sweeps it long. Sinclair got it inside 50. Scrimshaw dropped it. Trouble. Ross is over it.
Good effort by Henry there, just to cause the spoil, bring it to ground. Wanganeen-Milera are starting to have an impact as well. as is Wilson. The runners getting themselves into the game. Mason Woods had a bigger impact this quarter.
Nash pumps it away in hope. Deer pumps it to where he'd like to be. It's a 1-on-2. Gunston's the one. Wilkie doesn't mark it, but he crumbs it nicely. Wilson on the back pedal. Good drop step. Got rid of the oncoming traffic. Scrimshaw beat Garcia.
For all of that, this defence does still hold up, Brownie. I mean, they have been dominated to a degree, yet they've just given up the 1 goal for the quarter.
11 inside 50s. St Kilda, so you're right, Gaz, on those numbers. It's good effort.
Frost to McGuinness to Sarong. He made it tough for him. Is Sarong good enough to go and get it? Mitchell is going to run into a brick wall. Handball away and more. Ducked out of a tackle and ducked back. Newcomb. Ball to the back. Deer did well. Got a kick away. It's a roll towards the square. Off hands. Moore. Caught. Knew what he wanted to do, but Stocker stopped him from doing it.
Problem was before Seamus Mitchell took the mark in the wing and then wanted to keep the ball moving. Hawthorn need the ball to slow down, start building up their going through marks, just to take the edge off it.
I reckon I'm about to get my wish down here, boys. I think Bruce is just starting to warm up. I don't think he'll be too far from coming onto the ground.
Wanganeen-Milera. Ross. That's not play on. It faked to hand off, but didn't move. Hands it back to Wanganeen-Milera. Got away from Watson. Floats it inside. Owens had 3 to beat. Day. Nash with panache. He's got Watson out the back. Wizard plays on and goals.
Geez, it was an attacking kick through Wanganeen-Milera, and not sure it was needed, actually. So he goes for the... I know they're trying to be more expansive and more aggressive this quarter, but he goes for this kick inside the centre square. So Watson misses the tackle, but forced him inside. It's just a bit of a, like a 9-iron, like a wedge type, and just invited defenders to come down. Obviously, they were able to quickly go back the other way, and Watson was able to get out the back.
Yeah, 100%. The decision's wrong, and he hung it up. That's the thing. I mean, look at the outnumber here. Look at the 3-4-1 in the middle of the ground. If you hang it up like that, then you're asking for trouble. But I think they're going to. I think they'll take it. I think they're just going to say, well, okay, that's a bad choice, but let's keep going at it.
I think they'd rather go longer, though. If you're going to go into the middle, or just drive it long to half forward. And this is how Hawthorn won the game against Western Bulldogs last week. Some really bad turnovers by the Dogs in their back half. They were able to capitalise.
Having his best game so far, Nick Watson, game 5. Handball smothered. Owens got it back again, rolled it towards half forward. Ross couldn't get away with a steal, does. Scrimshaw zoned off into the right spot.
He certainly rejigged the forward half, Rossi. We got Mason Wood playing inside forward 50 as well.
And Hardwick may have been sent back by Mitchell as well. We'll keep an eye on that. As if Bruce comes on as a forward, maybe Hardwick back is the switch play. Down the line, no one can mark it. Big crumb to win. Gunston looked at Steele, looked at Gunston, and he jumped on him, and he got it out just in time. Howard, the fumble. McKenzie, Moore, McGuinness. Wilkie too tall for Watson.
See, that's the one that you just belted over his head. And I hope that Nick Watson can flip him around and beat him back, rather than just don't kick the Cal Wilkie on Nick Watson in the air. Ever.
Garcia looks around, looked inside, had to go back outside. Sinclair floats in on Scrimshaw, ran into a brick wall. Saints have not led in this game. A couple of chances to take the lead. Hawks led by as much as 16, now lead by 10. Meek takes it to the ground as Marshall wrapped him up.
And for all the positives, Dwayne, this quarter, their margin remains as it was at half-time. So Hawthorn have just steadied a little bit. There's a little bit of an onslaught early in the piece. They just composed themselves.
Marshall whipped it away. Done it a few times. Battle put it down, and Scrimshaw. Was that kept in? It was by Garcia, and Impey saw it out again.
Would you give Max King a run in the ruck now for a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Just he's only touched it 4 times for the game. You've subbed out your other ruckman. Maybe put Marshall in the goal square and let King run around for 3 or 4 minutes.
Scrimshaw, Day, Nash.
No, play on.
The thing about this, people at Clubland, they listen to you talk about like this, and they say, we don't think Max King's any good as a ruckman in any way, shape or form. Maybe, but for the sake of 2 minutes and just freeing him up mentally and letting him just have a run and just blow some cobwebs out.
Especially now you've made the sub with Hayes going to the bench.
So Kalshadir off. In game 2, subbed out Luke Bruce, so a second gamer out.
That's a surprise, that one.
285 gamer in. Day couldn't quite get through the crack. Hill, Bonner, fumble. Ginneman, he shrugged him. Henry, some space to use it wisely. Goes inside with the kick, and King.
We'll leave him
paid to that. That was a good effort. Well worked, actually, because Hawthorn had spare numbers beyond the ball. They had 2 spares at that stoppage. So it was a smart kick by Henry. He knew if he whacked it up in the air, more than likely it would have been intercept marked.
Yeah, it's a great kick.
But you're right about, everyone talks about Max King. Can he get to Coleman winning level? Can he get to All-Australian level? Game 77 for him, and he sprays that across the face, and it's lucky to score.
Like I say, he normally likes that part of the ground. His stats on that goal kicking accuracy from that part were fantastic.
Confidence just looks to be a bit down on confidence. Just got to keep presenting, keep turning up. That one surprises me a little bit. I thought he's been fantastic, but mate, that's Kalshadir, but maybe second game load. Bruce comes in as a super veteran.
Thought you're going to go with a bit of dear prudence there, Gary, given they've been a bit cautious with him and taking him off in game 2. Off hands Marshall.
That's smart.
Floats it inside 50. Weddle got a hand on it. Hardwick back. Aim on down the line to the leapers, and guess who? Walkie doesn't mark this one. He's been marking plenty of them.
So 15 inside 50s for the quarter for St Kilda for 1 goal. They'll take that. Oh, they missed a couple of opportunities. 1 goal, 4 they've kicked, but they're just hanging in the Hawks. They're holding up well.
They're getting numbers back well, Hawthorn, to support their defenders, whether that be at the stoppage or starting to spare back.
Now, Brownie, so Hardwick's sitting back there right now.
And I like his positioning moves. He's standing out the back.
Steele floats it to half forward, and good mark from Wood. Wanted to play on quickly. King's feeding back to the goal square. To Steele. Sinclair. He sees the lead. He goes out wide. Garcia.
Well, he capitalised on the back of Max King leading and then creating a vacuum behind him. And Garcia was smart enough to run out the back. The kicker was smart enough to identify where the space was.
That's it. Everyone's got to have their role to play, don't they? So King does exactly what you said, opens up a hole behind, and then you've got to have someone who's smart enough for the ball in hand to get it there. And that was Sinclair.
It's game 5 for Hugo Garcia. They picked 50 from last year's draft. Saints traded up to get him. Post.
Got to take your opportunities. 16 inside 50s this quarter for 1 goal, 5 St Kilda at the run of the play. The only statistical win for Hawthorn this quarter has been the clearance numbers, 10-6.
So more scoring shots, but less score.
What a kick.
Straight down the spine to Impey, who gets it on the run and goes and blows it long. Seamus Mitchell in a race. Gets there, collects, sizes up the opportunity. He might go for home. He doesn't. He goes for the sub. Luke Bruce.
That was one of the great kicks I've seen in quite a while. That kick across the body. D'Ambrosio, was it, to Impey? That was magnificent. He wrong-footed the St Kilda defence.
Inspired coaching from Sam Mitchell to make this change. Luke Bruce, look at that for a record.
Back into the lineup. First kick of the afternoon. Goal.
We talk about taking your opportunities, Brownie. That's what Luke Bruce does. He doesn't need many chances to hit the scoreboard and do some damage. But this is full credit to Hawthorn. They've absorbed, and yep, they've had a little bit of luck. There's the kick.
Oh,
look at that. That is pretty rare. And you talk about leading space. You'll see Nick Watson hopefully here. He's effectively playing full forward at the moment. So there's Watson. Bang. He leads up. There's the hole behind for Bruce to hit into. So one young man who's just finding his way, and another bloke who can read the cues as well as anyone.
Fantastic. Great reward there. It's unrewarded. Well, it's not unrewarded running, is it? Because your team scores. Luke Bruce, the veteran out there.
And you saw the baby carrying gesture after that goal. This is his first game since the birth. So congratulations to the Bruce family. Meek caught. Nash span into a jam. A little bit of breathing space for the Hawks now. Back to 14 points, the margin.
Dylan Moore's just been patched up down here on the boundary line, guys. He's got a nick under his right eye, so they've just patched him up and he's about to come back on.
Good impact today, Dylan Moore.
Day caught hard.
Two big ruckmen have had a great battle. It's been a good old-fashioned go at it, the two big fellas. Both had big influence on the game.
Warple almost held by Windhager before he went for it. Ginnivan up there with them. Little flail of the legs as if he's trying to get it out. Just buys himself a couple of seconds to get a breath. Marshall rips it out of the air. Inside 50. Great mark. Hardwick sent back to do that.
He's positioned himself well, Moons, back there as the spare defender quite often in this third quarter, and they've been bombarded with balls inside there by St. Kilda. He's held up well.
Amon's possession 28. Coming up for Carl Amon. A good pick up by the Hawks, his second season with Hawthorn now. Garcia slick. Owens, Impey on his hammer. Picked his pocket and went inside with the kick to Ginnivan. Missed him. Sinclair's got it. Gave it to Webster. Tried to shoot the handball to Steele. Missed him. Warple. McDonald. They're inspired at the moment, the Hawks. McInnes wide. Meek says let's calm it down, boys. We've only got a few seconds to go. We'll go in at three-quarter time with a 14-point break. That'll do us. Watson. Oh, that was nearly 50, which would put him in range. It does put him in range. And he gives him a pat on the bum with thanks.
Fifth game and gives the All-Australian a pat on the backside, if you don't mind, Dwayno. This will be massive for the Hawks. They have stood up in a big, big way. It looked like they were potentially going to be overwhelmed at the start of this third quarter. Ross Lyon had swung the magnets. He'd come down to the bench. They owned the footy. But this last 5 or 10 minutes been huge, and they're doing it undermanned and undersized. Nick Watson's effectively playing full forward at the moment.
So how big a 50?
He'll go nuts if he kicks it.
He will. It's for goal number 3 for Nick Watson, having the best game of his season. Game 5. Scrapes it in, 4 behind. Three-quarter time. Big quarter still to come on Super Saturday on Fox Footy before Essendon and the Giants, and then a couple of huge games coming your way tonight. A push and shove. Saints are up against it. They're on the canvas at the moment. 15 points down, 54 to 39. Quarter to play in Launceston. Saints came into the season with high hopes. Finalists last year, but the Hawks might be on the rise, looking for their second victory in a row, and they lead with a quarter to play. They've led from the outset. 15 points to margin now, 54 to 39. Cam Mooney downstairs.
Well, Dwayne, we mentioned Ross Lyon throwing the magnets around, and Josh Battle went down forward. It was an excellent move early. He was very lively, got himself a goal. But unfortunately, they had 18 inside 50s, boys, as we spoke about, for only 1 goal 5. They really need to work out a way to score on the back of their dominance. And as we saw, Hawthorn went the other way and went bang, bang. They need to work out a way going forward if they're going to dominate the game like that.
I thought Blake Hardwick was important behind the ball. He set himself up well as that spare defender. And Carl Amon had a huge quarter. He had 10 kicks, going at 90%. One of the best kicks of the season you saw from deep in the fence to set up that goal to Luke Bruce, who's made the sub. There he is there, that man Carl Amon, who has at times turned the ball over this year and opposition have been able to score, but not in that quarter. He's fantastic. 28 disposals for the game. As I said, 10 in that quarter.
So, again, it comes back to Membry and King. They've kicked one goal. They've got one goal each. They've had plenty of opportunity, but, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. They've got to have more of a presence. You can't come down here to Tasmania and expect to win a game with 5 goals. And I know they've had opportunities that they've missed, but 42 inside 50s to Hawthorn's 35. So pressure on the Saints here. Season slowly slipping away.
Spot on from the bounce to start the final term. Meek, a little palm down and another stalemate.
13 contested possessions. Jai Newcomb, 23. Loves coming down to Tassie, that boy.
He does. Marshall has taken it out of the ruck again and rolled it to half forward. Impey playing in front. Sarong, Amon, slick. Got it off just in time. Impey got it back and content to be taken to the line by Henry.
Just quicker to react there, Dwayne, at the centre bounce. He's out off the front of his man, ready to respond. The ball comes out at ground level. That's a veteran presence. Just thinking.
A quiet afternoon at the office so far for Liam Henry in his return game. 3rd game for the Saints. Still plenty of time to make something of this last 10 and a half minutes.
Row it. Separate a metre, please.
Meek this time. Newcomb. Nash. It's a fair bit on it. Got it towards the contest. Wanganeen-Milera. Steele caught. Slung by Hardwick. Left behind by Wanganeen-Milera. Not sure that was a handball, but it's been allowed. McDonald. Inside kick delightful. And Moore can go back and push this margin out to its biggest of the game.
Further evidence, Dwayne, there of the Hawks' ability, especially their midfielders, to turn up from contest to contest. It was on show last week. Again, fantastic there. You look down at the numbers, look down the contest, there's more Hawthorn than St. Kilda.
He's got 2 for number 3. That works back. Not enough. Marshall on the goal line saves the day. Down the spine, that travel. He's given it to Ginnivan. Of all people, he's given it back to Jack.
Well, there's plenty of things you could say. I think Luke Bruce is saying a couple of them right now. Just got to know your limitations. It's the kindest I can be right now.
He thought he was Carl Amon there for a second.
Quite a bit of dirty Harry, Gary Lyon. Man's got to know his limitations. Ginnivan. Any struts. Oh, my goodness.
There's the comeback right now.
Can you believe that?
Gee, that's a bad miss. That is a bad miss for a team that's kicked 5 goals for the game to potentially go 21 points down in the last quarter.
There's their 2 uglies for Monday night, Gary.
Horrid, horrid.
Down the middle, that looked like a free. Marshall was pushed and has this game turned again. A momentum changer.
Well, there was a lot of yap coming Rowan Marshall's way. So whether you poke the bear or not, he and Lloyd Meek have had a ding-dong battle, but he's a pretty proud man, Rowan Marshall.
Through the hands of Henry, through the hands of Sinclair. Day went and got it. Fed the handball further on. Dead-end street for Bruce.
Right there is the difference in the way AFL players are tackling this. He's got the adrenaline coursing through his veins, Rowan Marshall. He had Luke Bruce cold and just quite gently took him to ground.
Day started to get his hands on it a bit. Big fist of Webster. Thumped at 30. Day. Newcomb. Meek. What was it high? Hardwick got up there. Bruce, who's been lively, got it off just in time. McKenzie got past 1, got past 2, bangs it around the body. Has he got enough on it? Bounce! Bounced the wrong way for him, right way for St. Kilda. And Finn McGuinness taken to the deck. Hawthorn chant ringing around Launceston. They're home away from home. They're not home, but they can see it from here. They're 15, 16 minutes away from 2 wins in a row, the Hawks.
They'll be come to this position now, Hawthorn, able to set up behind the football. Build that wall, lock it in, spend some time in their territory. St Kilda spent a lot of time in the third quarter in their forward 50, but weren't able to capitalise.
It'll be 3 wins in their last 4 if the Hawks win this. Sinclair, Marshall, Henry.
And conversely, 4 losses in the last 5 for the Saints if it goes this way. So that's how desperate it is at the minute.
Wood turns and goes. Keeps it low. Good puck from Weddle, and he does like to run. Good grab, though, against the grain by Wood. Again, the inside kick. They've got to take it on now. Windhager looks up. Got a short option. Lace out to Steele.
You're right. It'll open up, Dwayno, as it has.
Dangerous, but perfect to Battle.
And here is Josh Battle, who was swung forward at half-time by Ross Lyon, and he was really influential in that third quarter. He kicked the first goal, the third quarter, could kick the first goal, the 4, close this gap up, get it back down to 10 points. Hard to come by. 5 goals for the game. These are just gold, these opportunities here.
Kicks the goal and kicks the door back open.
Yeah, beautiful kick. He would understand the stage of the game, how important that kick was. He took it on himself, kicked it. It's been a really good move, inspired move at half-time, guys. Ross Lyon, that is coaching. Ross Lyon had to do something just to try and fire them up, maybe give them another target down forward. You've spoken about Memory King. Haven't been able to take many clunks, but he's had an immediate impact straight away. And that was good ball movement. They haven't been able to take uncontested marks, but that was the cleanest foray forward in the second half.
So that's Jack Steele getting a bit more proactive too. So that's what they've got to get. You know, some of the criticism at times from that midfield is that they're all honest, but they're all a bit one-paced. And they're hard in at the contest, but can they get outside and make something happen? So Jack Steele, there's the opportunity. Old dart into it and then turned and hit Battle with a... It was a little bit of an iffy one, but they got there in the end.
He's out in the wing, Josh Battle.
Marshall continues to rip it out of the air and get the kick away to half forward. King couldn't mark it. Newcomb crumbs it. Out wide with his delivery. Watson edged out of it. Sinclair left it behind. Stocker went and got it. And dealt with late. So it'll be a St Kilda ball downfield, which is Bonner's ball maybe. No, back to Stocker. Back to Webster. Ton of time left in this. 2 goals away, the Saints. Haven't led all afternoon. Steele spent that before he'd earned it. Down the spine, he's hoping for and finding Membry. They got a little bit of afters from Scrimshaw.
Jack Steele starting to get a bit involved and get involved forward of centre, which is really good. And the kick from Webster out of the defensive half. So the last 2 forays forward for St Kilda, there's been space. There's been space opening up, and they've been good enough to execute. He dropped the mark, Steele, but there was enough room there to get back on it. And as this game opens up, the Saints are looking a bit better.
He's kicked 14 goals, 5 this year. Tim Membry. He's pulled that. 14-6.
So the pattern of this is that Hawthorn have been under-steady throughout the course of this afternoon. Looked to be under a lot of pressure, looked to be not on the verge of folding. I don't think we've ever seen that, but there's been times where we think St Kilda are going to get their nose in front, Brownie, but the Hawks have had the answers.
Impey, fake to go long, pokes it short, Sarong. Scrimshaw. Takes his time.
This is what they weren't able to do in the third quarter, Hawthorn. They weren't able to take many marks. They'll be happy to control the game. They prefer to be out of their back 50.
It'd be 18th possession for him after a 27 possession game last week. Wilkie couldn't mark it, pressed it down, and is that on the full from Seamus Mitchell?
Just didn't have the tall targets down there, so reluctant to kick long Hawthorn. Eventually they had to.
I wonder if Wilkie's getting a bit more proactive too, Brownie. He also knows that they've got no great big marking target, so he can get proactive in the air.
Meek knocked it to Marshall. Kenzie pushed off Hill. Did brilliantly. Back towards the wing. Watson fighting hard. Moore.
I think the adjustment too's been made by St Kilda. They're not allowing the spare Hawthorn defender this quarter. Yeah, so they can have confidence if they have to drive it in there. They're not going to have someone there from Hawthorn to outmark.
Steele bends it around the body. One-on-ones ahead of the ball. Frost. Sarong. Mitchell. McKenzie. Impey is out. Bruce. But it'll work. D'Ambrosio. Almost made himself dizzy. Back again. Heads to half forward. Big punch from Hardwick. Sinclair. Wide ball though. Membry. Ambrosio cut him down. Ooh, great tackle.
Some good moments. Sinclair played that beautifully before. Just to watch him take the front position by 15 metres, you think, oh no, if he gets this wrong, Hawthorn are out over the back, but he judged it beautifully. And then this from D'Ambrosio. It's desperate times right now for both sides.
It's game 8 for Jai Sarong back in this week, and he's looked good. Brustoff hands the sub. Fresh has had a bit to say in this Hawthorn 9-point lead. This was 16th and 14th coming in. Saints are 14th on the ladder. 3 wins, 5 losses. Hawks 16th, 2 wins, 6 losses. Third of the season over. Sinclair rolls it, gets it to half forward. Sarong again. D'Ambrosio. Proving his worth again as a pre-season recruit to Moore, who's still got some blood coming from that eye today. Pops it wide. Meek, boundary line, content to see it out.
Dylan Moore's got blood coming out of his wound. Would you, as a St Kilda's fan, point that out, Brad?
Probably would at this stage, considering how important he is, how important he has been today. This is a fair old whack.
Captaining the team today in the absence of James Sicily.
Good ball movement.
Out to the front, Battle looks up. This is the money kick. He goes short with it. Wood looks inside. Gave it some thought. Goes back. At his best, he's got this kick in him.
It's a big kick, just going on Tim Memory's kick before. The distance going to stretch him.
Goes inside to Steele.
It's been big so far in this last quarter. Jack Steele, the skipper. He's had some really big moments. It's either work out a stoppage to get it into the hands of Wood was elite. Just in tight. That's where the game has been as good as it's ever been, with the player's ability just to get it out. It's a huge kick for Jack Steele.
The captain, his 150th game today as a Saint. To pull it back to a 3-point margin. Launches. Almost the mark on the goal line. Weddle caught. Fed it back. Impey. Will Henry jump? He does. Thump clear in though. And a roll to the line.
7 possessions for Jack Steele in this last quarter, 2 score involvements. He's getting on the outside. We know how good he is at winning it on the inside, Brownie. 6 of those 7's uncontested.
Hardwick was forward. He's just been pushed back defensively again now. So he did have that big punch. He had to actually come down as a forward, but the runner has just gone out to him and said, get back in defence. He was the loose man in that third quarter. Just see him there at the top of the screen.
It's an interesting ploy with 10 minutes to go, isn't it?
Yeah.
So clearly they look at the scoreboard and go, well, this 9-point lead might be akin to a 4-goal lead the way the game's being played.
Winhager tried to kick it out of mid-air. Battle backed his way out of a couple. Seamus Mitchell through the hands of Hill. Newcomb, Hardwick. He kept it alive, maybe to his detriment. Wanganeen-Milera misread it. Watson could have taken possession. He knocked it. DeWarple. DeWarpedo gave it off to McKenzie. Chip kick is good to Weddle, who's off and running. Launches, they are out. Bruce mistimed his jump. Got away with it.
That was un-Luke Bruce-like.
Stolen. Ginnivan, who probably owes them one, shrugged it, was half-dacked. McDonald, posts.
Great effort by Nash. He turned up there to force the turnover. That was the opportunity. Donald, normally he hit one of those in the first quarter. There have been a few posters today, I think.
Kicked 3 straight last week. Connor McDonald, he was on song, had one to win the game almost against Collingwood a few weeks ago. Been getting his hands on it forward. 9.5 minutes left. Wide ball. Owen's got up, beaten by Scrimshaw.
He's been good today, Jack Scrimshaw.
This is not great rooting for Saints. 5 games this year, 10 points or less decided, and they've only won one of them. So maybe they're due.
McKenzie to Impey, who got told to go. Goes back to Hardwick. Wise head, Finn McGuinness.
They've got all the numbers back there, Hawthorn, so it can be tempting to use up all the numbers to kick it backwards, but you still want to be able to move forward.
Big pack. Hill. Almost dispossessed and tackled with a ball. Was deemed to be ball.
They're going to have to even up with Hardwick. His experience is so critical. They lost. Sicily didn't play 4 games last year. They lost all 4 of them. So no Sicily this year. Someone like Hardwick becomes super important. So maybe you just got to take that away from him. Don't let him be the man that just steadies him and gets him across the line.
Outside 5.
Warple.
Play on.
Wide and cautious. Meek's direction. Big fists come. Windhager, great smother on Newcomb, kept into the area. McDonald dumped. Wilkie thumps it away. Every little thing becoming bigger by the passing second. Hardwick hassled out of it. Garcia tried to get it. Ross got it. Gave it to Patton, crunched, and maybe crunched a little high.
It's just good pressure. It's the stakes are high now, Dwayne. The Hawks have met every challenge that's come their way. Can they hold on?
There's
8
Rowan
minutes.
Marshall. What about the big Warhorse? He's had 22 contested possession. One more for a St Kilda record.
Wow.
What an enormous game. It's been a great battle. You mentioned it several times during the coverage. Gaz, between him and Lloyd Meek.
Lloyd, Rowan, watch my back, please.
Meek slaps it down. Marshall wins it again. Howard. Fed a handball away. Patton goes and gets it. Windhager throws it.
See, Nash, you mentioned before, he and Newcomb through the middle of the ground.
Hardwick had to wait for the bounce. McDonald, can he find a target? He launches long. Bruce the man. Bruce the man. Wanganeen-Milera didn't kill it though. Almost. Watson. And didn't travel over the line.
I love the ball. I love the ball.
He did something incredible, Nick Watson. He tackled himself.
They almost didn't know. They weren't sure, the St Kilda players, as to whether they could knock it through.
Please check if it came off the defender.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball comes off the Hawthorn attacker's hands before crossing the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
Did it cross the goal line. Touched the umpire, so it would have gone through anyway.
There's been 2 goals each in this second half. That's how hard they are to come by at the moment.
Wanganeen-Milera heads wide. Wood.
He's worked hard in the second half, Mason Wood.
Stocker. Seconds keep ticking though. We're down to 7 and change. Weddle got up, couldn't mark it from 4 deep. Ross scrambled to kick away to half forward.
Good effort. Owens.
Wilson tried to slick handoff to King on the run, and that looked like a throw. And it is Hawthorn free. dangerous. Stocker cuts it off. Dead end street, one of free. Garcia off and running. Can launch from outside 50. Heads to King.
I mean, he's an easy target, Frosty, Sam Frost. But there's a couple of non-negotiables there too. Just hand it off in that instance. The kick, you've got to be so certain of the kick when this game's in the balance and you've kicked to a 50-50 on the wing.
Max King. And it's a one-kick game. They're a goal away from the big steal, the Saints.
It's game on. They're starting to challenge Hawthorn again with territory. So Hawthorn have decided to put their numbers back, just try and hold up and galvanise their defences. Have a look at that kick. Not the ideal kick. Sam Mitchell wouldn't be happy with that. But now St Kilda spending time in their front half, Gaz, and they're able to capitalise this time. Max King, he had the shot from closer in. There's been a few long shots. That was a more comfortable distance.
Well, he took it under pressure. Goal, as we said, they've been so hard to come by. Just hanging it up there like that, and you have got to have awareness. So the St Kilda player, can't remember who it was, who just got there and forced that turnover. So game back on, stakes high. Saints are 3 and 5. They're 14th on the ladder. They've played finals. They can't afford to drop one to the Hawks. And the Hawks are building some sort of momentum in their season. So big 6 minutes.
Marshall nearly took it out of the ruck, and then Meek went to take it, and they took him. That's ball. Had Price surely? No. Got away with it.
Intensity from St Kilda's been good around the ball now.
Nowhere to hide now. Tackle on Sinclair by McDonald.
Hawks have had the answers all afternoon. Can they raise another effort? Rowan Marshall, highest rated player on the ground. Lloyd Meek, the second highest player rated on the ground.
St Kilda now with 8 forwards. Just obviously Hawthorn are trying to load up behind the ball. So St Kilda just matching them up.
It's probably it's the right call, obviously, but because at the other end you don't really need the aerial support given who the Hawks have got in their forward half.
Hawks have led all afternoon at their home away from home here in Launceston. You do feel like the Saints' season is on the line. Nash was half held. Umpire saw it.
Great call, Dwayno, and well picked up by the umpires. No question, that's a free kick.
He pointed long, went short today.
Play on, play on.
He took the step and thumps it. Gunston got there way late. Took a bit of ear. Got away with it.
Well, Hawthorn killed the contest against the Western Bulldogs by stoppage after stoppage. It was Ginnivan just jumping on every single pack, so Saints can't fall into that trap.
5 points, 5 minutes. That's the equation. Through legs it travels. Stocker caught by Nash. Wrapped him up.
It's a long 5 minutes, though, of creating stoppages.
A lot of stoppages. It's a lot of stoppages.
Flung wide. Good trap by Watson. Bends it back. Goal square. Gunston. Bruce. Interesting behind that. Wanganeen-Milera content to take it, but it's now a 6-point game. So now they need 2 scores to win it.
How brave will they be?
Down the spine. Windhager can't mark it. Newcomb nearly crumbed it. Nash.
Been big Nash. Had some big moments.
Rossi's back down now, guys, and he's yelling at people, get off, get on, telling which people to go on and get off. The intensity's picked up down here.
Be confident to kick it forward, though, St Kilda. They've got representation ahead of the ball.
This is interesting. He wants Bonner on, obviously, but gee, it's hard to get in there. He will now, perhaps.
Webster rolls it wide. Howard got there to collect it. Bends it back, keeps it in. King couldn't get there. Oh, he won it off the bounce.
Great
now he's
tackle.
caught and he threw it away. Frost.
What a tackle.
Hardwick wobbles it. Saints have representation behind it, but Wood falls. Wanganeen-Milera gave it to Bonner. Sends it back.
That's why he wanted Bonner on the ground, because he's changed his direction with composure.
Marshall to Hill. Loops it wide. Patton fresh sub. Calls them forward. Come at me, he says. Owens can't mark it. Day. Aim on. Did he disguise it well enough? He did.
I wonder if Ross Lyon getting down on the boundary enabled them to switch direction so that he could get Bonner back on the ground. I wonder if he had any part to play in that.
Certainly a talking point last week was that Bontempelli got stuck off the ground for a long period of time.
The two rucks continue that battle. Impey caught. Squeezed the kick away. It's wide. Hill tried to keep it alive. It'll knock.
I think Jack Scrimshaw has played a fantastic game back in defence for Hawthorn. He's used the ball really well, but just defensively, he's contested well in the air and at ground level. Laid a magnificent tackle before. Of course, last week he got that spray from Sam Mitchell.
And responded. Every player is in about a third of the ground here.
Garcia hammers it towards goal. Off hands. Huge crumb. Kicked out of the air by King. Wow.
What about that?
But another interesting behind. So now they're a kick away from the lead, the Saints.
18-man press, Strano. All 18 as the karate kick here just goes astray.
The Champions League was on during the week, wasn't it?
Gee, that would have been some sort of goal. What a press this is here that St.Kilda have got on.
So he stepped out of the square here. So the second's tick, once he steps out, he just crept out. No one realised. Now he kicks to the wing. Newcomb caught. Gave it off. Nash. Newcomb. D'Ambrosio. Possession footy. Bruce. Ginnivan. D'Ambrosio. They tightrope the boundary. He was bumped. He's coming back.
Downfield, he's paid it.
Has he?
Yeah. Gee, they did that well. Hawthorn had all their numbers up around the footy, and then the in-tight hand stuff again gets them out. And there's the downfielder. Gee, not much in it.
Any score for Hawthorn here. Interesting. A goal makes it a two-kick game, a behind. And it will be tough for the Saints to win it.
2 weeks running, they've closed out really well, Hawthorn under pressure.
D'Ambrosio. Can they find a hero in the pocket? Ginnivan. McDonald shrugs. Gave it up. Bruce. Normally clever. Oh, how clever was that to aim on?
Yeah, you need to find an uncontested mark in that situation now. He can take his full 30 seconds. Carl Amon. He's had a good day with that left leg of his.
He's got the journey too. Though we've seen at the other end of the ground, not sure what the wind situation is, but they were just dropping him short from around the 50-metre mark. So we know this bloke's got a great leg on him.
A goal, and it makes it a two-kick game with 1.5 minutes left. The behind, it's 6 points, and the ball back to the Saints. It doesn't score.
Great mark.
Doesn't score, and they can take off and take the lead if they can get it coast to coast. Wilkie wide. Webster. Wilson. Webster. Left it behind. Day. The perfect day. He finds Ginnivan.
Sarong, he was the man that was able to get his hand in there.
Gee, it was a great play. Was that Sarong?
Yeah, it was.
Because Wilson was the runner. Wilson was out.
He puts it back to a 50-50. Wood. So it's got a chance here, the Saints.
Last roll the dice here, Dwayno.
Steele. Can't take too much time, Bonner.
Well, Hawthorn are all pushing back, so there's going to be plenty of holes up this end of the ground.
Wood takes off. Heads out wide. The last roll of the dice to take the lead for the Saints. Wanganeen-Milera to King. Can he get there? Did he hold it long enough? Weddle had it, lost it. More drag down.
Good chunk of it.
He had a piece of that.
Yeah, not enough to pay it. I think the umpire made the right call, but he had a good jump at it as well.
Hearts in mouths. Off the scramble. You can throw a blanket over 20 of them. And we're down to 15 seconds.
Well, now, this is what they did do last year. Here's the jump at it. Oh, it was a great jump at it.
The Hawthorn chant ringing around Launceston. Still a chance for the Saints, but they need a palm down and a goal from this.
Need to whack it clear here.
Well, someone's got to get on the move too, big time, because if you just hit it and stationary, that's game over. So all chips in.
One ruck contest to steal it. Down they come. Windhager caught. Siren about to sound. Is this the rise of the Sam Mitchell Coast Hawks? They've won 2 in a row. They've won 3 of their last 4. And the jubilation says more than words can. Sam Mitchell and the Hawks are delighted. Their season is well and truly alive.
Brilliant, Dwayno. Brilliant call. Great game. Well done to the Hawks. They've won this game by kicking 2 goals in the second half, Brownie. That's how much of an arm wrestle it is. Went down to the wire. Max King had a great run and jump at it. Almost clunked it. But they would have been unlucky to lose at Hawthorn. They led from from go to woe. And there's some development in these young men. They were undermanned, undersized, and they found a way. They kicked 8 goals. They only kicked 8 goals, but the most important number there is they kept St.Kilda to 7.
Yeah, defence was fantastic, guys. That second half especially, they conceded 28 inside 50s Hawthorn and only gave up 3 goals. Magnificent effort and good strategy. They were able to put loose men behind. I thought Hardwick was important. At times they had 2 and 3 extra defenders back there. St. Kilda tried to equalise. That man Walker was important. I thought their mids worked really hard. It was a good battle between the midfielders. Jack Scrimshaw was fantastic behind the football, but sensational. 2 wins in a row now to the Hawks, just starting to find their form.
Newcomb was massive, so his ability to win contested ball and keep it in tight. Marshall and Meek was a battle for a throwback battle. The 2 big ruckmen just going at it. He's had 23. What do you have in the end? Big row on Marshall. He's had 23 contested possessions, and Dylan Moore is a star, and he's with Cam Mooney.
Yes, he is. This captain's job, it's not an easy gig, mate, is it?
No, not at all. I think when you get captaincy, you have to get injured, so that's what Sis brought to me.
Well, tell us about that last couple of minutes there, man. They were throwing everything at you for most of the day. You got off to a great start, but somehow you just found a way to hold on.
Yeah, and that's the thing we've been working on this whole year is we haven't been able to arrest any momentum, and sides being able to kick 5-6 goals against us. So to not have the game on our terms for pretty much a half of football, come out with the win was incredible for the boys.
We know it's been a tough start to the year. You lost some boys, some key players to injury at the start of the season. Season hasn't started well, but the last 2 weeks, that just showed amazing fight.
Yeah, exactly. And we know there's a bit of a lag effect to things, and we've been working on just being tough at the football for 6-7 weeks now, and it's great to see that the last 2 weeks we've been able to do that, and it brings some belief to all the boys.
How important is it to get that belief, and how important is it to get these wins for this young group?
As you know, winning culture is the best culture, and you can say you're a tight-knit group, but when you walk into the club on a Monday and you lose week after week, it gets tough. So to get 2 wins in a row is amazing.
Mate, how's that modelling job in Milan going to go?
No good now. Needs some plastic surgery, I think.
It looks fantastic, mate. Well done on a great win, buddy.
Does look fantastic too. There's nothing better than having a big wound like that after a win, Brownie.
Oh, fantastic. He won't be able to place the boxing tomorrow. Lomachenko Kambosos goes. Here's the mark, or the non-mark from Max King. He gave a good jump at it, didn't he? And almost had it, just couldn't quite grasp it on the way down. That would have been an unbelievable finish. Would have been shot nearly after the siren.
Was there any... I'd like to look at it again, because the umpires don't get what we get, and that is the chance to sit in the cold, hard light of it all and have a look at it. I wonder whether there's any arm in this from Frosty.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge amount.
No,
I think play on for that, the umpires. And it's umpire appreciation round.
Yeah, I'm appreciating the decision. I'm appreciating their willingness to not pay that mark, and the Hawks were able to hold on. They were the deserving winner for mine. And this, we're not putting it all on Max King, by the way. That's just the dying moment there that we're talking about. I thought they were deserving. They hung in and hung in. They fashioned a way of playing with limited forward line options, and it was the small blokes that got to work, and their pressure in the first half particularly was outstanding. St Kilda never turned it up. I think they're pretty disappointed with the way they moved the footy, and they'll be going to school on that. But no, it's a big win, and he's right, Dylan Moore. These are important for young teams.
It's the 25th annual Blue Ribbon Cup. Let's head downstairs.
For this year's Blue Ribbon Cup, today has been an opportunity for us to honour Sergeant Gary Silk and Senior Constable Rodney Miller, who lost their lives in the line of duty. 26 years, and they are still remembered. Congratulations to the Hawthorn Football Club on winning a fantastic match here this afternoon. And I'd now like to welcome both the Victoria Police Chief Commissioner Shane Patton and Tasmania Police Commissioner Donna Adams. They are going to present the cup to Hawthorn's captain today, Dylan Moore.
Yeah, firstly, just like to thank Silk and Miller families for giving us the opportunity to represent you guys on this day. We've got a special connection with Jack Scrimshaw, who's best mates with Jimmy, so for our club this is a very special occasion, so thank you. To the Saints lads, great effort, tough game, and we love playing against you guys every year, so good luck for the rest of the year. To our boys, well done, tough win, and let's go.
Thanks very much, Dylan. Well, in the spirit of the Blue Ribbon Cup, the presidents of both Hawthorn and St Kilda have voted for the best player on ground for the opposing sides. I'd now like to welcome Jonathan Silk, nephew of Gary Silk, who's going to present Hawthorn's best on ground medal as voted by Saints President Andrew Bassett. And the winner of the medal is Carl Amon.
Thanks to St Kilda for a tough game. Thanks to everyone coming out, and it's an honour to play in this game, so thank you.
Congratulations, Carl. And I'd now like to welcome Jimmy Miller, son of Rodney Miller, to present St Kilda's best on ground medal as voted by Hawthorn President Andy Gowers. And the winner, and congratulations, goes to Rowan Marshall. Well done, Rowan. Congratulations, and thank you to Jimmy. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, to everyone who's been here today to support the Blue Ribbon Foundation and also the 175 Victoria police officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty. We hope you've enjoyed this afternoon here at the University of Tasmania Stadium. We look forward to having you back here in round 13 when the Hawks take on the GWS Giants. And with this Road Safety Week, please drive home safely and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you very much.
They're both deserving winners.
I think the president's got it pretty well right.
I know Carl Amon was sensational. 31 disposals, 24 of those kicks at 92%, including one of the best kicks you'll see all season in the third quarter to set up Luke Bruce at the other end. And I thought Rowan Marshall, he was enormous. Great battle against Lloyd Mead, take nothing away from him, but Marshall had 23 contested possessions of his 28 and 12 clearances. That's actually a record for the most ever contested possessions by a St Kilda player.
That's unbelievable. The Hawks have found one in Lloyd Mead, by the way. So, as you rightly pointed out during the call, Dwayne, he wasn't the first choice ruckman at the start of this season, but he is now, and he's going to be hard to unseat because I just love the fact that he gets in, he competes. Dylan Moore led them really well in the absence of James Sicily. Newcomb's outstanding day in this side makes a hell of a difference. And they got their best game out of Nick Watson, who's going to be a super player for them.
So the Saints play Fremantle at Marvel next week. Their season's on the ropes.
It is,
Yeah, up against them now. They need to keep building towards their midfield, but have a look at that 14th, 15th after playing finals last year, St Kilda. Hawthorn's starting to get some momentum now, though.
Well, I don't think we would have 3-6 for the Saints on the back of a finals appearance last year. That's going to be an emerging story. They've got a little bit of work to do, but it's all about the Hawks taking another step forward. Drano today down in Tassie.
So Hawks by 5 points. Super Saturday continues. Essendon and the Giants, the top 8 teams going head-to-head in a good old-fashioned